Warning. You are entering Open Lines Friday. For today anything goes. Thank you for your cooperation.
¡Listos pelos chingazos! ¡Listos pelos chingazos!
I'm gonna bring the whole fucking diseased, corrupt temple down on your head. It's gonna be biblical.
Warning.
All right.
You are entering Open.
Shut up. All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the Boxing Debate Arena Special Edition, because it's Friday. It's Open Lines Friday. Anybody can join. Everybody should join and click the link if you're interested. The link is in the chat. I'm gonna post it in the description later, but it's in the chat. If you guys want to join, just let me know, and I'll be posting the link throughout the whole night. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. Who do we have in the chat? Two Matador, Team Batman Boxing, Some Rando, Killer Be Killed CCD, Official Boxing Scorecard. Who else? The Can Man. I saw Mr. BDA there. Shazar, Fluffy Toaster 89. I am your leader, guys. Welcome to the show. Anything goes, and we can talk about everything. And as you guys can see in the title, I wrote, Haymon is a fraud, because he's a fucking fraud. I mean, how many times do we have to say it before something happens? Sorry, I'm eating some chips. Before this guy gets finally exposed and kicked out of the sport of boxing, he's the most incompetent. He's a promoter. What is his bullshit about? He's an advisor. We know he's not an advisor. He's a promoter. He's the matchmaker, and he's terrible at it. Terrible. I remember when people blamed Bob Arum for not having the Spence versus Crawford fight. They were blaming Bob Arum for, I don't know what the fuck they were blaming him for. I don't know. They were just saying that he was the reason why this fight wasn't happening. But now we know that wasn't true. Now we know that wasn't true, and Haymon, even with all his power, he's the most powerful man in boxing. Woo! He can't even get this fight done. There's no network issues. There's no different promotional companies involved or anything like that. This fight should be taking place right fucking now. Il Hoto says, how dare you speak about my king like that? That's right. And these LWC channels, they never call him out on anything. They're the reason why the sport is in the state it is, actually. You think about it. They complain about irrelevant issues or things that aren't even issues. They're still banging on about race and there's so much racism in boxing, as if that even exists. And even if it existed, that's not what's hindering the sport of boxing. Not race. American boxers don't get their fair share. No. They're so pampered, they can't even get this fight done. Because I want more money. I want this, I want that. I want Jimmy to come in here and talk to us about the pay-per-view numbers. I know Mr. BDA was trying to do a show yesterday and the connection was fucked up. so he had to end the show early. But I don't know if you guys heard, but the Tank Davis pay-per-view generated 61,000 buys. Like, is that even possible? What did they think was going to happen? He was fighting this guy Garcia, who was moving up in weight. What do they expected 200,000 pay-per-view buys? This is the lunacy from these people. They are disconnected from reality. Maybe that's why they can't get any proper fights done, any good fights done. That because they're not grounded in reality. Mark T says Don King era had the best matchmaking. See, Don King, actually, say whatever you want about Don King. He had some memorable cards. He had some, and when he had to work with Bob Arum, he would work with Bob Arum. What's the PBC, right? It came into existence in 2015, I believe. What's their biggest fight? What's the biggest fight that they have put together? Remember when the PBC began, they had over 200 boxers, and they kept bragging about that shit. I think they kept mentioning that they had the biggest boxing stable. And I see Mr. BDA, you can jump in if you want. They said they claimed they were always claiming, oh, we have the biggest boxing stable, we have all this money, blah, blah, blah. And what did they do with that shit? They promised us that we were gonna have fights on network television. And how long did that last? And how many big fights did we get on network television to begin with during that short period?
You know, man, I've said it before, Bucho. I was hopeful for the PBC when it started because more boxing for boxing fans equals just a better time, right? But it's ultimately the PBC is flailing away. Some people point out because they've announced some dates for some other fights, and they go, "Oh, I thought the PBC was dead." Yeah, what do you expect it to die from one day to the next? It's been dying a slow death. I mean, it's not getting any better. You look at fucking Benavides versus Plant. That's going to be pay-per-view. And it's going to be surrounded by months filled with other pay-per-view. So it's a shame that this happened. But look, it's been proven that Al Haymon delegates power. Excuse me, he doesn't want to delegate power. He just wants to do what he wants to do. And now Jimmy's theory makes sense that because his brother, Al Haymon's brother, got beat up in boxing and it chewed him out and spit him out. That now he's got some sort of resentment for boxing. It makes a lot of sense. But look, we are getting some fights coming up. Yeah, Hands of Boxing, you got to mute your speakers because I can hear myself in the background with the feedback. But look, it's a shame that that's what happened. But boxing is not an easy sport to get into. I've said the story ad nauseum about a Hollywood producer that decided that he was going to get into boxing. He had the funds and he gave himself a timeline that he was going to get into boxing as a promoter. And then when he finally got in there, I don't know how long he lasted, but he left. And he told the boxing writer, look, I'm in Hollywood, which is filled with sociopaths and psychopaths and all that, and divas and narcissists. The boxing world makes those guys look like fucking priests, like altar boys. Mm-hmm. It's a dirty sport, boxing, because the power is consolidated to only 3 or 4 entities. So if the market's already cornered, you go in there thinking, oh, I got a funds and I'm going to make it. Pfft, good luck, man. Even remember when Golden Boy boxing started and they only had Barrera and I think 2 other fights, and then Barrera lost to Pacquiao.
Did they have Marcus?
No. That he was still with Top Rank, but they had Barrera. That was their big signing. Then within a year that the company started, or a year and a half, Barrera loses to Pacquiao, and they were like, holy shit, what do we do now? And it was rocky waters for a while. They made it. Although now, there's rumblings that maybe things aren't going well with the Golden Boy Promotions. But yeah, man, listen, can I just say something that I tried to say yesterday about some of these things? Listen, with the PBC thing and the pay-per-view numbers for Tank Davis versus Garcia, they're all over the place. Some people Rick Glazer says 61,000. He's been proven right in the past. Then there's other people that are saying, well, 200,000. Some people are even claiming 400,000. Here's the problem. Or actually, here's a solution. If Showtime really wanted to clear the waters and just let us know what's what, they could release the numbers themselves. But like Jimmy's been saying nonstop, and they can't leave, because if they tell you the truth, they're going to be lower, and if they lie, they can't lie. They're going to be in fucking trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so easy. They could just tell us what the numbers are. I mean, we want to hear it from Showtime. We want to hear it from Espinosa. What the fuck is he? He's always so talkative on Twitter, but he doesn't say shit. Give us the numbers. The names.
Name names.
I'm talking about Robespierre. Anyways, Hans. What's your name again? Hans. What? Hans. What? I can't even read now. Anyways, what's up, man? Can you hear us?
Hey, what's up, man? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man. What's on your mind?
Just pay-per-view, man. They really should. The only fights they should be putting on pay-per-view is the big fights. I mean, people are already streaming, stealing streams. Pirating is up. It's really easy to find free streams. I mean, they should hire more people to, stop or do the copyright claims for one thing. I don't think they invest in that like that. But also, they should only put big fights, like good fights, for pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is getting out of hand, though. I mean, too many fights are ending up on pay-per-view. They shouldn't be on pay-per-view. A clear example of that is this Tank Davis fiasco. 61,000. 61,000.
Hey, yo, man, stop pocket watching, man.
Yeah.
Stop the
What's
pocket
up?
watching.
Zippo, man. What's on your mind?
Nothing, man.
But anyways.
Just join it for fun.
All right.
I'll drop off and let you guys talk about the PBC more if you want to when more people come here. But can I just say something, Butch, about the Inoue Fulton fight?
Yeah.
Because it got lost in translation. Well, because not translation, but the fucking stream went offline. But yeah, Inoue Fulton, I hope it happens. And the rumor was, according on Twitter, was that the PBC wants Stephen Fulton to fight Figueroa again. And he said, no, I want Inoue. And if you don't give me that fight, I'm going to air out dirty laundry. Now, Jimmy said that would be hard. Yeah, but now Jimmy says he doesn't really quite believe it just yet because they do have a non-disclosure agreement. So if he goes against a non-disclosure agreement, he could get in trouble. Unless he's so pissed off, he doesn't give a shit about that. He goes, listen, I won this fight. So I hope it happens. Again, nothing's been signed. They just agreed to the terms. So we've been through that road before with other fights, and then the fight falls apart. But that being said, it's a good fight. And a lot of people are giving Fulton credit, but I don't hear too many people giving Inoue credit. This would be his fourth weight division.
Oh, for taking that fight. Yeah. Because they don't know who Inoue is.
Exactly, Butcher. They don't know who Inoue is. We've been through this road before, too, by the way, before when people go...
Inoue had the easiest undisputed fight ever, man. He fought against a journeyman.
Yeah, he did, but, I mean, it was relatively easy. Not the easiest. I mean, at the end, with Paul Butler, yeah, it was easy. But when he went through everybody at the WBSS, that was fucking high level right there. But what I'm trying to get at is, most people are choosing to give Fulton credit instead of giving credit to Inoue as well. Fourth weight division, no tune-up, taking on the best guy in the division. I think he should be commended for as well.
But you're saying Fulton is complaining at this point, right?
No, well, that's the rumor.
No,
it's just
rumor.
a rumor.
Let's say, for the sake of argument, let's say it's fucking true. All right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense because here's the thing, though. He has had time to see what happens with these PBC fighters when they take that route of inactivity, of not fighting big names, of just like, not doing shit for a year. They just start disappearing. Like, look at Keith Thurman. Look at his career.
What network will that fight be on? Fulton versus Inoue?
They're saying ESPN.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Japan.
But see, anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that Fulton may be sensing as maybe have a sense of urgency now, because he sees the train wreck that is the PBC and how it destroys careers.
That's a good point, Butcher. Yeah, it's a good point, and it's coincidental that Rick Glazer releases those numbers, horrible pay-per-view numbers for Tank Davis versus Hector Garcia, and then all of a sudden, the Garcia-Tank Davis negotiations move one step further. What a coincidence! And then we get Stephen Fulton agreeing to go to Japan, and it's all going to be top rank, by the way. That's going to be taking care of that. I mean, it's ESPN Plus. It's going to be in Japan. It's
And
not going to be in the
Fulton is
US.
smart, but Fulton is smart. Like, you gotta give him credit. He knows what he has to do to become famous and a potential star.
You
But
got to
these
get
other-
off the
But these other
plantation.
boxers, they didn't realize, they didn't see it. They thought, oh, I'm gonna act like, I just have to act like Mayweather, protect my O, and then everything's gonna follow after that. You know, I'm gonna become a pay-per-view star and all that shit. They didn't have the formula. They didn't understand the formula, and it's a pretty simple formula. You just gotta
Right,
fight the
right.
best, fight
But wait.
consistently.
Who do you see winning that
By the
fight?
way-
Do you think his power will carry over to Super Bantam?
That's the thing, though. I don't know, man.
Well, Zippo man, do you remember the Angelo Leo fight?
Angelo Leo? No. Oh, Fulton versus Angelo Leo.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
He got hurt in the fourth round. Fulton did, and again, he'd made a dumb mistake. He was fucking leading with a right uppercut, which is a big no-no. He got hit with a right hand and wobbled. That being said, Leo's not that big a puncher. He's got 20 wins, and I think only 9 of them by stoppage. So, to your question, man, I think if he stops him, it's gonna take some tenderizing, because Fulton does have good defense. He's got good footwork. He can move around the ring. Well, what do you think?
It'll be a different matchup for Inoue because he's never fought that kind of style, that classic African American slick boxer.
Yeah, Fulton's got a good jab. He's got a good jab. The right hand, not so much. And I was talking to Gonzalo about that fight. He said that Fulton's good on the inside, but he really has to use his. He drops his hands to block body shots, and so he can also use his shoulders to push fighters and shove them. But that could cost him against Inoue. So it's going to be interesting to see, man.
Yeah,
But by the way,
I think he's got the
LOI,
skills to box with him.
he definitely has skills. We'll see if he can handle the intensity of the firepower coming at him. Loy in the chat, well, not Loy, LOI says, Fulton going to Japan because of the bag, meaning the money. I think that's what he means. Not because of his
How much do these
some
small
shit.
guys even get?
Well, that's a good question. But just to address LOI, I think he might be right too. Yeah, it's got to be the money too, because he's gonna make more money in Japan than in whatchamacallit, in the US. But yeah, how much money are they gonna get? Inoue is a big draw in Japan, so it's gonna be in the millions.
It's a good fight, very good fight. And again, I want to give credit to Fulton for trying to stick this fight. Although some people might,
I did not think this fight would happen.
well, it's,
Well,
is
it's
it
still
happening?
not happened.
It's not done yet, right?
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
They agreed to terms, whatever that means. We've seen,
Yeah.
like I said, we've been through that road before.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we went through that with Crawford and Spence, no? At some point, they agreed
Yeah.
to something.
Yeah,
They
well,
agreed to
Crawford
whatever. and
Spence
then-
is a bunch of bullshit, man.
yeah.
Hey, can I ask Zippo man, what fight? Okay, in theory, let's say Usyk versus Fury gets made. Let's say we get Lomachenko versus Haney, which apparently is going to get made, and then we get Inoue Fulton. Which one would you be looking forward to the most?
Lomachenko Haney.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
Because I'd like to see how Haney deals with Lomachenko's inside fighting and his strength on the inside.
Interesting.
See if it's going to
Interesting.
be a clinch fest again.
Butcher, how about you, man?
Sorry,
Anyway,
what's the-
Fulton's interesting as well. But Fury Usyk, it's not really that interesting to me.
I sort of
biggest
agree with
fight-
you, man.
I want to see Ryan versus Tank Davis. Now, obviously, I mean, really, if you think about it, there's no belt involved. There's no one. Tank Davis is not a champion. He's a regular champ, so he's not a champion. Neither is Ryan Garcia. But the reason why I want this fight is because I think it's gonna be good for boxing. This is the type of fight that can transcend the sport. It really can. Ryan Garcia has a social media following that kind of like it enters into that Jake Paul sphere of fans. You know what I mean? He can bring that. Tank Davis also has a large following on social media, and obviously us boxing fans, we know who these guys are. They're big names. So again, this is a fight that can transcend the sport and can really help it, get some new fans, new blood, and it can be an exciting fight as well, right? Because we've seen how we sometimes have in boxing fights that supposedly transcend the sport, but then they end up sucking, right? Being boring fights like Floyd against Pacquiao. That was horrible. That was actually bad for boxing.
Some people actually sued. And I know it was a minority, but still, the fact that people actually sue for the bad quality of that fight, yeesh.
We have official, we have telekinesis. You guys can jump in anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, guys. Thank you for having me on. To your question about which in between those three fights I would prefer to see, I would say Inoue versus Fulton. First of all, I mean, all these fighters are extra talented, but Fulton, he's nice, he's not crude. Plus, they are both in their primes, which is a big difference in comparison to two other fights.
Good point.
Yeah, Fulton really lit a fire with me when I heard that it might happen. I was like, "Oh shit, that's a good quality matchup." I'm with Zippo, man, too, man. Fury, Usyk. I don't think it's going to be that entertaining from a stylistic standpoint.
No,
I think it's
and people saying that Fury is going to run through Usyk. Are you stupid? Usyk was going toe to toe with AJ, not literally toe to toe, but he was on the inside with him.
Right, but
and Fury does not punch harder than AJ. No way.
But what about technique though, and balance and Fury? I mean,
against who's Fury? Fury's never fought a boxer like Usyk though.
No, but Usyk hasn't fought a giant like Tyson Fury, who knows how to.
Well,
clinch.
AJ is a giant. He's only a couple inches shorter.
Well, 6'6", 6'9". I mean, really pushing at this point because if you look at Usyk when he fought Joshua, you could see that the height difference.
Yeah.
The size difference. Now
the thing is,
if
you watch his last fight against what's his name, Chisora, he couldn't get him out of there. What was he doing? Patting his face for 10 rounds whenever they stopped it. Why couldn't he knock him out cold like he did Wilder?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. White is better than Wilder. That's he might have less power, but he's much better, skill wise. I think Fury. He's a patient man, and he knew he was going to land that uppercut at some point. I think.
No, I'm talking about the Chisora fight.
Oh, Chisora. Sorry.
Yeah, not White.
Actually, this is the thing. They're friends, man. They're actually friends.
Yeah, but wouldn't you want to get the job done quickly then?
No, I think he wants to put on the show. I mean, how many people complain about this fight? Like everybody was saying, this shouldn't even be this shouldn't even be happening, right? So what does Fury do?
And these comments, he KO'd White. Doesn't he what's his Povetkin KO'd White?
Yeah, that's not how it works. I mean, he was losing that fight. Povetkin was. Like he landed a good punch. What happened in the second fight?
Yeah, well, that showed his weakness. Everyone knew White was going to get knocked out by uppercut in that Fury fight.
Oh, he's not the best. He also got knocked out by AJ, right? So
yeah,
I mean, there's levels. He's not perfect. Go ahead.
I think Usyk's got a better chin.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just chiming in to say that, look, I missed the last Fury's fight. I didn't give a fuck about it, but I watched the other fight, the Dillian White fight, and in that fight, he was looking incredibly terrible. His footwork, his movement. I mean, yeah, you can make a guess. For sure, he would train more seriously. Maybe he was not training for that fight, those two last fights, as seriously as he would for Usyk. But yeah, I saw him slowing down. I don't think he would be running, but he can make it boring the other way by clinching, making it sloppy.
I am I am your leader. I'm not a Fury hater. I just think his power's overrated.
But is it
That
all
is
about
gonna
power?
stop
What
Usyk.
Zippo, what about the size advantage? I mean, we saw what Fury did to Deontay Wilder in terms of like how Fury used his weight.
Yeah.
Can he do that against Usyk, in your opinion?
Usyk's a lot more mobile though than Wilder. Wilder's a plundering fighter.
Mm-hmm.
He's not got the best footwork, so he's obviously bamboozling.
Well, why don't
I mean,
I'm. Go ahead, Mr. BA.
Chisora is a fumbling fighter too. He's slow as fuck, and he was giving Usyk some trouble in there, especially with he would turn southpaw and he would throw an up jab, and if that's what Fury has, he's got an up jab. So I'm not convinced that Usyk schools him. I was actually more.
I don't think he schools him. I don't think he gets stopped though.
Oh, okay, no, yeah, stop it, yeah. That's something else, dude. I mean, before you want to think about stopping Usyk, you better start figuring out how you're gonna beat him first by decision. Then you want to talk about knockout. But yeah, let's knockout. But decision. Look, I was actually more giving. I favored Usyk to beat Joshua. I was more confident in that one than I would be against Fury, just because I don't know how the styles are gonna mesh up. I could see Usyk beating him, but then at the same time, I could see Fury maybe just keeping him at the end of the jab and squeaking out a decision as well. I mean, people now hate Fury because of what he did with Chisora and that he took that fight, but they forget the guy's quality, man. The guy knows what he's doing in there, and he's got that size advantage.
Yeah, BDA, to your point, what I was trying to say earlier, like me, for example, I'm seeing his speed flowing down visibly, but he has the ring IQ. Despite that, he has the ring IQ to give all sorts of hell to Usyk. Now, I haven't thought about that fight closely yet, but definitely he has the ring IQ to, if needed, make it ugly, make it difficult for Usyk, lean on him, plus has the ability to place the shots, punches on the inside. So yeah, I haven't thought about that fight yet, but yeah, I can definitely see it going anyway, just like you said.
Interesting. It's a 50-50 fight for some people.
It might be a pretty boring fight.
Yeah.
The styles, it might make it a chess match.
Exactly. That's why
I don't know. You don't know how Fury is gonna approach the fight. What if he goes in there like how he was fighting Deontay Wilder?
He could easily just get knocked out.
He would get knocked out.
Rapax in the chat saying people hate Fury because of what he did to Deontay Wilder. Zippo, do you hate Fury because of what he did to Deontay Wilder?
I loved Fury because of what he did to Deontay Wilder. When I woke up the next day, the third fight had me a bit shut, and then I woke up and I saw he knocked him the fuck out. I was, yes!
Yeah, it was a satisfying feeling, I have to admit.
You know what, guys? I don't mean to cut you too much, but I just wanted to say that, for me, it's not only because, look, I do think that Usyk is in a better shape than Fury is at better stage of career, but at the same time, I don't know how many of you saw that even in both of those fights against AJ, Usyk was physically struggling. I don't know how to describe it, but if you compare him with at his best weight at cruiserweight, I mean, he was moving much more. And also, even at heavyweight against AJ, he showed a very good endurance, better than the most of the current heavyweights. It's still not the same, and his movement. At cruiserweight, he was able to move if needed non-stop, not in every fight, but if needed, he could do that. But his movement in both AJ fights was shorter. I'm seeing that all that added muscle that Usyk added really limited his movement a bit, and that's why even if he beats Fury, I think that, for example, the other British guy that he beat in semi-pros, Joyce, would give him hell, and that Joyce, in fact, would stand a huge chance to beat Usyk. I may even pick Joyce against Usyk if they have a fight.
Hey, BDA, are you there?
Yes, indeed.
Okay,
yes.
What official said makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially in that second Joshua fight, Usyk did kind of look tired. Was it because of the body shots? Because I mean, AJ didn't do that.
That's one way Fury can beat him if he's assertive with his body punching, like consistent body punching.
Yes, exactly.
And I feel like Fury would be a lot more confident than AJ as well. So yeah, I'm actually favoring Fury, but I want Usyk to win just because.
You know, the thing about the Joyce fight between him and Usyk, a rematch. Well, I mean, it wasn't technically a pro fight that they had, but okay, let's say they fight again. Joyce has a big gas tank. That's what he does with his to beat his opponents. He's got a good gas tank, better than most of these guys, and because he's very patient, he can take a shot. So let's recapitulate here. I mean, let's recap what we've got here. We've got a guy who's got a great chin, good gas tank. He can do a lot of damage just throwing little shots with no power, but they're hard evidently because of his size. Here's the thing though, Usyk has as good as gas tank as anybody in the heavyweight division. So I think he's, most people can tag Joyce. That's not a problem. The problem is, can you keep him off of you for 12 rounds? I think Usyk could. Even at this stage in their careers, even in a 12-rounder, I think he's got the gas tank and the skills to keep moving, keeping off balance. I'm pretty sure there might be a dark period there in the middle rounds where he's going, Usyk starts tiring and Joyce starts putting it on him. But then if Usyk can get his second win, I could see him winning that fight. But you never know. Joyce has improved and he's full of confidence. You can never take that away from a guy.
The thing is, Joyce don't really got enough speed to trouble Usyk, in my opinion. Usyk has already dealt with fighters who punch hard, like AJ, and he already dealt with fighters that are faster than Joyce over there at the cruiserweight division. So I don't see Joyce really troubling Usyk, mainly because of the speed. Usyk has speed on his hands and also on his footwork. That's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting fight, but I mean, we want to see the unification, heavyweight unification fight. So BDA, you asked about what the biggest fight that we want to see. What was the question?
Well, no, out of the 4 fights that could get made, again, that's a bad thing though. They haven't got made. But let's say Garcia, Tank Davis gets signed, Usyk Fury gets signed, Inoue versus Fulton gets signed, and what was the other one? Lomachenko Haney. Which one would you guys be more excited?
Yeah, they're all good, man. They're all good. I chose Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis just because, like I said, this is a fight that can transcend the sport. But I want to hear Don Chingazos. Which fight do you want to see the most?
Between which fight? I'd rather see Ryan Garcia.
Any fight.
Ryan Garcia versus Tank. That's the fight we need. We really haven't seen Ryan Garcia against a top lightweight. We saw him against Campbell, who was a top lightweight at the time, but he, I don't know, it's not the same as Tank. You get me? Because Tank is getting all the hype. Everybody knows who Tank is as when it comes to boxing fans, and not everybody knew who Campbell was. That's the thing. So yeah, we need to see Tank fight somebody good like Ryan, and we need to see Ryan fight somebody good like Tank. So that's the fight we need right now, how I see it. And this fight is gonna bring a lot of eyes to the sport because of the following that Ryan Garcia has in his Instagram.
Exactly.
In Tank's last fight, he was getting hit a lot by that other Garcia. Why do you think that was because of complacency or his defense isn't that good?
Tank gets hit. I mean, that's the thing. He got hit. He got Leo Santa Cruz was tagging him. The problem was that Leo Santa Cruz didn't have enough power to actually hurt Tank Davis.
Yeah, and Ryan Garcia's got pop.
Exactly. That's what we keep saying. People were saying, "Oh, he has no fucking Slugger Slam." If you're in the chat, Slugger Slam, he kept saying he thought I was crazy because I said this is a 50-50 fight, or actually because I said that Ryan has a good chance of beating Tank Davis. He was like, "Oh, you're crazy, Bucho." Well, how am I crazy? He gets tagged. Not only does Ryan Garcia have power, he has speed. And it's not like his punches they're not perfect sometimes, but they have some skill behind it. This isn't Deontay Wilder either.
He's got good timing. He's got really good timing.
Yes, exactly. He has good timing.
I think what people don't see is that Tank, he's a counter puncher. But the problem with it being a counter puncher is he doesn't really have the upper body movement like a Canelo would, because Canelo, he has fantastic defense. Tank really does, and he gets tagged a lot. He waits for his opponent to make mistakes so he could capitalize on his mistakes, as opposed to like a fighter like Canelo where he makes people do mistakes. And that's when he counters them, not Tank. Tank waits for them to fuck up, and then he goes for the counter punch.
And Don Chingazo's great point. What happens when Tank doesn't see an opening? Nothing happens. Look at the Isaac Cruz fight. Nothing happened because he never saw an opportunity, so he was just fucking waiting, and it looked like a crappy performance from his part. He was just sitting there trying to counter, find the perfect opportunity. Never came.
He was spamming that uppercut that Cruz already figured out. He was blocking the uppercut constantly. They wouldn't really land, and he's relying on that punch. So if Ryan could find a way to negate the Tank's fucking uppercut, it's gonna be a hard fucking night for Tank Davis, bro. I have Ryan beating him, but let's see what happens.
What do you think about Ryan's chin?
This is the thing.
Is it tested enough?
I mean, he did get dropped by Campbell. Is Campbell a big puncher? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Did he have it's one of those things. Like, you guys remember when Tyson Fury got dropped by cruiserweight? What's his name?
Neville Pike.
Shit. Cunningham.
Steve Cunningham.
Yeah. I mean, does that mean that Fury doesn't have a chin?
No.
I mean, he got.
It's about recovery, innit?
He
had good recovery from that knockdown in the combo fight.
Exactly. What's a good chin? Is it getting dropped or getting back up and keep fighting?
Up.
Because
but the question is, see, that's why people started calling Haney chinny as well, because he couldn't recover from the punch.
Exactly, like Amir Khan. Look at the Maidana fight. Terrible.
But Amir Khan was getting wobbled by guys that couldn't even fucking punch.
But that Maidana fight, the guy was dancing for 3 rounds. He never recovered.
He was doing the shuffle. But hey, the big question though is, does Ryan got that dog? Does he have that dog?
Hey, he's a dog. I think both of them have the dog. If it comes to, I think both of them have the dog, man. But when it comes to the chin, listen, Tank can crack. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a 50-50 fight.
But the thing is, who's Tank cracked, man? He cranked that bomb, Rolly Romero, that already lost to that guy that Comey knocked out. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
He should have lost that fight. He knocked out a bomb that started boxing at like 18. No skills. Chin in the air, so Ryan better took his chin. Yeah.
I think Tank is a punching bag, bro. And I think Ryan's going to light him up.
I hope he does. I want Ryan to win.
The problem with Rolly Romero, he's tall, he's big, and he could punch. He doesn't have pelo hands, but he makes a lot of technical mistakes, bro. Too many, bro. So we knew that one of those technical mistakes, he was gonna pay for it eventually, and he did.
Yeah. But again, can you really say that Tank doesn't have? Can you really say that Ryan Garcia does not have a chin? Because he did get dropped, but he got back up and he kept on fighting. He wasn't doing the Amir Khan dance, or anything like that. He was okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, Bucho? Not only did he get up, he got up and took it back to him the next round. He didn't
need an extra round. He didn't need to recover. Yeah.
Hey, but can I say something about the poll that I put up there in the chat?
Mm-hmm.
I said, which fight excites you the most? And I gave Haney Lomachenko, Usyk Fury, Inoue Fulton, Davis Garcia. Garcia Davis is leading by 34%. In second place, Usyk Fury. I mean, that's normal because those names are bigger. and they would create more hype for the fans. But I'm interesting. It's interesting though. Haney and Lomachenko. Haney, I forget. Haney's actually the D champ in this fucking division, and Davis and Garcia aren't even talking about fighting him.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about fighting each other. So even though that's a good fight, yeah.
No, like we keep saying, these guys have social media following. This guy transcends the sport. I mean, who outside of boxing, who the hell's gonna know about Devin Haney?
That's right.
Why would you even say to a non-boxing fan? Why would you even say to a non-boxing fan about Devin Haney? Oh, there's this guy that clinches and goes 12 rounds.
Oh.
I mean, nobody gives a shit.
And he's a Muslim too. Well, I mean, if he is, I mean, you have to include that characterization.
Oh man. Hey, who else do we have in the over here? We have Never Sober, Gonzalo.
Hey, what's up, Bucho? Just here drinking coffee.
I was gonna say,
how you doing?
Get some coffee. Pretty good, man. What's the biggest fight you want to see, man? What's the biggest fight that you want to see right now?
Probably Lomachenko, Haney, and Ryan Tank. That's good.
Yeah. When it comes to Lomachenko, I mean, he better get this fight. Is that fight happening or what's happening? Does anybody know?
It's happening in May, I think.
Yeah, May. They're saying May.
Okay. That's a great fight.
Going back to Tank versus Ryan, I notice a lot of people have a problem with how Ryan has like this upward type of stance. He doesn't really shrug his shoulder. I don't know how to explain it, but he makes himself kind of tall. Don't you guys think? Like
he stands straight up.
Yeah, like a straight upward type of stance, and I think that's better against Davis because Davis is fucking short, bro. So he's gonna have a hard time.
He got to lure him in. He got to take a half step back. He has to he has to feint. He has to make Tank react to try to catch him. Take a half step back, and he has to catch Tank coming in with his left hook. And
that's upper bodybuilding.
Yeah, and I know Tank likes to fight like on the outside, and I don't think that's gonna be the best strategy against Ryan because he's taller, bro. Like straight up.
But what about Ryan's chin, though? I mean, he does stick his chin up in the air a little bit there.
Here, one thing we did talk about Ryan Garcia is his footwork. His footwork, you know, he falls over his feet. He when coming forward, he had problems finding to go. So he did, you know, when he was trying to cut off the ring. You know, at times he was throwing punches, he was off balance. You know, when to-go was on the back foot or on the ropes, right? Because, you know, he was leaning his way in. Right? So his footwork, you know, it's something he has to work on. He has to have better footwork against someone like Tank.
Yeah, but I don't think Tank is gonna be running from Ryan. I don't think that favors him. And if he starts running, then
he's losing rounds.
And he's not gonna win the fight because he's supposed to be the KO artist and all this shit.
But Tank, Tank has a history in losing rounds. It's not.
He was losing rounds against Barrios. And
he was losing rounds against the mental retard. What's his name again? The retard. He was losing rounds against. Yeah.
Romero.
Roy.
You know, he doesn't really care about winning, right? He's going for the knockout every single time, right? And he does have what I would call compact power. You know, if he can get you in close, he can get that hook off, or he can get the backhand off, right? He got compact power. He hits every shot with mean intentions. That's, you know, he doesn't really throw a lot of combinations. He doesn't utilize his jab the way he can. I think he's a far better boxer than he shows us half the time. That's the freaking problem with him, right? He makes you feel comfortable and then he catches you. You think you're comfortable in the fight and he catches you. That's his strategy. That's how he operates. That's how he's operated the last 10 or so fights. And that's how he's going to keep operating because, you know, it's been working for him so far. The only one he really has had a problem with Leo Santa Cruz, or not Leo, Isaac Cruz. You know,
he also didn't look great. He also didn't look great against Santa Cruz, to be honest. But the thing is, Santa Cruz didn't have any fucking power. Let me just quickly read a super chat from Rapax Trucking Company. Thank you for your generous contribution. He says, don't forget Luke Campbell fought Lomachenko and Linares. Ryan has a chance if he starts acting like the Mexican legend Juan Gabriel. Juan Gabriel became a legend in Mexico because he always took his career very serious. If you guys don't know who Juan Gabriel is, he's like a homosexual Mexican singer. So... Anyways,
he's supposed to be a great singer, though. Despite the homosexuality.
Yeah, I know. No hating here. I don't want to get banned from YouTube here. But anyways, thank you, Rapax, for your very insightful comment there. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I think Tank is gonna try to lure Ryan into one of the corners and try to catch him when he's coming. When Ryan's coming out. Kind of like how Luke Campbell did. That's when he leaves himself the most open, right? But I also think that's when Ryan's going to try to go for his left hook. He's going to try to catch Tank coming in. So I think it's going to depend on who's going to feint and who's going to bite first. I think Ryan's faster, and I think Tank, he gets comfortable. He doesn't get comfortable like, I don't know what this dude's name is, but like he was saying, he lets his opponents get comfortable with him. He lets himself get hit, bro. He takes damage. Hector Garcia was marking his face up. If he lets Ryan do that 10 for 4 rounds, he'll knock him out. That's what I think.
Yeah, Ryan don't really throw combinations like that, right? He throws single punches.
He only knows 3 punches. He goes the left hand, right hook. The jab, right hand, left hook. I think that'll be enough to throw. It'll get behind Tank's gloves. He comes in with the high guard. It'll get behind him gloves.
You know how you beat Tank style, right? You do a beat ball, right? You don't load up on shots. You pop, move, keep it long range. Just keep your discipline. Right? Good foot movement, good timing. That's how you beat Tank. Right?
Yeah,
but
Ryan is not the type to overcommit, bro. Because I noticed Tank when he catches them is when fighters start to overcommit. And I don't see Ryan doing that. He's not a volume type of guy. He picks his shots.
No, but Brian, I think if he just pops and moves and doesn't put like no real power on his punches, Tank gonna keep on coming and he's gonna try to look for the knockout. You know what bothered Tank Davis about Pitbull Cruz? It was the speed, and he has some power. So that kept Tank busy, like where he couldn't set up his own shot.
Yeah,
you
but
gotta really sting him with some power for him to think twice about throwing back. Yeah, if you put some authority on your shots, you're gonna keep.
Yeah, Pitbull Crew also had volume in his shots. Don't know how the guns out. He also had
pressure and he landed clean. And Tank, it hurt him, so he got on the back foot like immediately, bro. If he gets hit hard, bro, he'll start moving. Like he was. I think Rolly stunned him too, and he got on the back foot.
Yes. Round 2, I think.
Yeah, bro. He'll turn into a runner, bro.
Yeah, he was trying to hold on to fucking Romero, man. He was hurt. And in that Isaac Cruz fight, why was he on the back foot? Right, like you said, obviously there was a reason why he was on the back foot. He's supposed to be the little Mike Tyson. He's supposed to be this little Mike Tyson. Oh, everybody's afraid of this guy. He's on the back foot against a 5'4" unknown Mexican boxer, man. Come on.
He's not.
He looked big. He looked big in there against Isaac Cruz, bro. I was watching that fight again. He looked big in there against Cruz. Backing up.
Like I said earlier, Tank is not the best inside fighter, bro, and that's what Pitbull was trying to do, make it an inside fight, hooks, all this shit, and Tank don't like that shit. Even when Pitbull landed to Tank's body, fucking, he made a weird ass face like, oh, this shit hurts,
But not many people go to the body against Tank. That's because they're bigger than him, right? Usually, But the other thing too. This is just how I see it with Tank. Right, with the Mike Tyson thing, he ain't Mike. The only reason people compare him to Mike Tyson because he's small and compact. He don't have the upper body movement. He don't have the punch. He don't have the punch place, or he has the punch, but he doesn't have the punch volume that Tyson had. Right, and Tyson did it with placement as well. He's got the placement down, right. when he throws a shot, he usually lands. He usually lands clean. But he don't have the volume Tyson has. You know,
Ryan.
You know.
Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying he just doesn't have the volume Tyson has, right?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say, because watching Tank's fights in the last few years, that was also my remark, that his output is low, and so that was another or one more reason why Cruz performed so well against him. Now, like Ryan Garcia is not an inside fighter, but you can have a high volume, output, even if you are a long range fighter like Muhammad Ali, for example. So Ryan can easily, if he chooses to use the high output, he can give him some real trouble, even from long range, popping him or boxing him, like you said, with straight punches and movement.
Yeah, I think straight punches is the key to beating Tank. Just keeping it straight, keeping it long, punches in volume, and in between, right, a bit of power, right? Just popping a few power shots. Just keep Tank honest. Just keep it long. Keep moving. That's how you beat Tank, right? Because if you come in and you start feeling comfortable, for some reason he just catches guys, right? They think they're comfortable in their one, and he just catches them, right? Just when they least expect it, and then when the only time he really puts up volume is when he has someone hurt, right?
Yeah, I'd say volume's not a good thing. Volume's not too much volume is not a good thing against a counter puncher. Think of Brian Castano, the rematch against Charlo, because that gives you that allows you to make more mistakes when you're throwing too many punches and the other guy's trying to like just catch you in between with one shot.
The difference with Brian Castano and what's his name, Jamel Charlo, is they're the same height, right?
Well, no, that's just a reference. I mean, if I'm Ryan Garcia and I throw 10 shots and Tank's only looking to land one, my one is gonna be quicker than his 10. Although Ryan Garcia's quick, the more punches that you throw, the more you're glued into one spot that allows your opponent the opportunity to land that shot that he's looking for. That's all I'm saying.
I know
just to stave him off with 1-2, then the power hook, that fucking lead left hook, and readjust again.
I don't think the volume is that bad as long as he does it in a different form, like 1-2s, and then go back and then 1-2 and then 1-2-3, 1-2.
That's right, like that.
Off rhythm. Yeah, you have to do it a little bit off.
If he tries to overcommit and do a fucking 5-punch combo, then that's when it gets dangerous, because the thing about Tank is he likes to punch in between the punches, counter punch, and that's the only problem.
That's where he catches
you. Considering that his chin is kind of there's a question mark behind. If he had an iron chin, hey, you'd be a pressure fighter like Chavez all day. I mean, no big deal, because we know that your chin can back it up, and then you're eventually looking to break down your opponent. But considering that, that Tank is also a power puncher, he's been knocking everybody out mostly. Yeah, that's why you gotta be careful. Don't stay glued too long in one spot throwing a 5-punch combination. Keep it to your 1s and 2s, like you said, chingazos.
Yeah, I don't think Ryan could pull off that game plan. Well, the discipline of that game plan. That's my. I think at times Ryan will get frustrated and he'll try to do things and he'll leave himself open and get caught. I'm picking Tank to win the fight if it happens, but
discipline or what game plan?
Don't you think Ryan already kind of fights like that though? Because I never really seen Ryan do like a 4-punch type of combo. He does the lead hook, like it's a lead hook type of guy, like jab and then a lead hook, and maybe
a backhand, right? That's his right. He doesn't vary his shots. He doesn't try. He tries to place his shots, but he doesn't have the punch output. I think too, the 1-2, the steady, keep going to, to stop Tank's counter, right? I think you had to keep Tank honest. I think you had to keep him at length, and at times you have to put power in it, right? The one thing about the counter shots is hard to counter someone when they're at full length, and they're bigger and taller than you, right? So Tank's going to have to get in closer, or he's going to have to make Ryan come close to him, right? Those are basically his two options, right? Because Tank ain't going to chase around the ring for Ryan Garcia. He ain't going to do that. So he's gonna try to lean back. He's going to try to bring Ryan to him, and then he's going to try to counter, right? So length at the beginning, and then
I'd say,
you know.
I'd say the most. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you don't think.
Let's start with Gonzalo and then Never Sober. Gonzalo first. Go ahead.
I'd say Tank's best opportunity. You know how Ryan throws the lead left hook, and he's probably got a better lead left hook than a trail right hand. So the opportunity for Tank. Hold on, let me finish, Brian. I know that you agree with everything, but let me just finish. Yeah, I'd say Tank's up because you fucking I'm trying to say something and I.
Oh my god, the connection's fucked up here.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's hear from Never Sober.
I was gonna say, bro, you're saying that about what Brian needs to do. What Ryan needs to do, Brian. But I was gonna ask you. You don't think Joe Goosen isn't confident enough to notice that as well? Because he's been in the game for a long time.
Good point.
No, I like Joe Goosen as a trainer. You know, as a trainer, you can teach someone to basically do. I remember when Joe Goosen had a Toro Gatti boxing for a few rounds against Nicky Ward, and then he went back to form, right? Fighters usually go back to form, you know, especially when they're used to doing something for so long. You know, the Joe Goosen is a good trainer, right? I do like him. He is experienced. He's the type of guy. If I'm Ryan Garcia, I want my corner, right? But it's what does Ryan? You know, I hope Ryan's actually learning from him, you know, and taking in his lessons, because if he does, he will become a better boxer. You know, it's just my thing with Ryan is discipline. That's it. It's just, can he maintain a game plan for 12 rounds, or can he switch up his game plan if something's not going his way? Right.
Right. Brian, we gotta just get a super chat here. Rider of the Storm says Ryan isn't going to chase Tank. He knows he can't take that chase. Ryan will win by jabbing and keeping his distance. Tank can't win on points. All right, what do you guys think about that though? Like, can even? Yeah, that's true. Can Tank win on points?
Yep. No. Yep. Because judges will screw Ryan.
Oh yeah, maybe that way. If they pencil with him,
I agree with the super chat. To be real with you, like I said, I think he was kind of getting his ass kicked by Rolly. Obviously, he was getting his ass kicked by fucking Pitbull. So I think the Pitbull should have at least been a draw. So this is a guy that's always getting his ass kicked on the fucking scorecards, and then he comes out on top with a counter punch finisher.
I mean,
he's a punching
short guy. He's a short guy, so he's never going to have the same advantages as the other fighter. The other fighter's going to be longer, so if you're trying to land that perfect shot, obviously you got to give some ground if you're the little guy, right?
Yep, that's true.
I would also say that it depends on where the fight is going to happen, on which TV network.
Yeah, we got to look into that later on. Point. Now, do you guys think that maybe we're focusing too much on Ryan Garcia's weaknesses and not on Tank's weaknesses? Because this is what I see is happening here. Like, what are Tank Davis's weaknesses?
He gets hit, bro. He starts off slow.
Exactly.
He starts slow.
One guy put a lack of.
Doesn't he throw like 10 punches per round or some shit?
Yeah, he'll throw heavyweight numbers, and he's a lightweight. You know.
Yeah. He doesn't come off the ring and come forward. He likes being on the rope. Tank's very comfortable on the ropes.
Tank's main weakness is he was under Floyd Mayweather.
That's true.
That's his main weakness. He hasn't fought anybody his whole career, man.
Well,
maybe he would be better now. He would have been a better boxer now if he would have gotten a different career. Go ahead.
Do you know his biggest weakness? Bringing up 130-pound guys to fight at 135.
Yeah, that's my point. That's Floyd Mayweather tactics. There's a reason Floyd.
I think he's gonna be shell shocked by Brian's power, bro.
There's a reason Floyd never fought Margarito and Paul Williams, and that's because giving up height and reach versus a power puncher is the hardest thing to do in the boxing ring.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's one thing about Floyd. You barely see him fight another guy with a longer reach.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you never did.
Hold on, guys. Let me get back to that. But first, Staggerly Goods, thank you for your contribution. I know he's a new member to the BDA membership program. Thank you. He says, thanks for the invite, BDA. I am enjoying the show as I'm working. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the show while you work, man. And thank you for the generous contribution. Sorry, go ahead, guys. You were talking about the reach and that Floyd never fought somebody that was... Yeah, he never fought Paul Williams. He never fought Margarito. Yeah.
He fought Zab Judah with a 1-inch reach advantage. That was it.
Well, this guy in the comments,
he didn't want
did
to
not
fight
have a longer
Winky,
reach.
right?
He just was a tall, weird, cockroach-built body, man.
Do you guys remember when they asked Floyd Mayweather about Margarito and he looked like he wanted to cry? Like, he dead ass looked like he was about to cry. All right, he had he didn't know what to say, and then all he could come up with is, "Who's that guy?" That was his answer. Who's that guy?
He also refused to fight Winky Wright, and Winky Wright was taller than Floyd, I think.
And Margarito.
Well,
you
can say that Winky Wright was a 154 pounder, and Floyd was a welterweight. He have 2 fights at 154, but nah.
Paul Williams didn't hang around at 147 too long
You're
either.
Right.
But
not long.
He was there. He was there when Floyd was there.
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight Paul either. Yeah.
And he didn't want nothing to do with Paul Williams or Margarito because he wasn't trying to fight nobody 5'11", 6 foot that would come in the ring over 160 pounds and could hit they both were hard hitters too. So he wasn't trying to do that.
Yeah, but that's the
Go ahead, Gonzalo.
Yeah.
Gonzalo, go ahead.
My phone keeps cutting off. That's the difference in styles that, for example, against Mayweather, he had a good chin too, but he didn't really hit that hard, but he was a good boxer. But the thing is that a pressure style would work against him, like Maidana, Margarito, somebody that's going to get you pinned against the ropes and just keep throwing punches like William Cepeda nonstop. That would win. That would be good. But not in this fight against Tank Davis.
One thing Floyd had against Maidana that he found very hard in the first number of rounds was timing his jab, right? Because he would just throw the jab from the most weirdest angles and out of nowhere. There was no rhythm to it. He find that very difficult. Right? Yeah, he find that very difficult. And also Margarito as well.
And Margarito just had a super gas tank, bro. Like he just never gassed out. Never. It was unreal gas tank. Like, look at Manny Pacquiao beating the dog mess out of him, and he never gassed out.
That's the thing about a pressure fighter. You have to have a good gas tank, and most likely, obviously, you have to have a good chin too. If you don't got those two things, and especially if you're facing someone with power, oh man, good luck. So I'm not saying Ryan Garcia's got a shitty chin.
I haven't really been into boxing since COVID because COVID messed up a lot of good fights, and so I really haven't been into it. I'm starting to get back into it now. But I haven't really been watching Tank or Ryan fight, so I can't really give much of an opinion other than if they're equal in skill level and you're giving up 4 inches and 3 inches in reach, then usually the bigger guy wins, and that's just how it normally goes.
Yeah, well, with Ryan Garcia, you really haven't missed much.
I don't get why people think Tank's gonna win, bro. He has every stat lower than Ryan. You know what I'm saying? It's like because he has more tattoos. I think he's gonna win. He's shorter, slower.
What about even the power is questionable at this point. I mean, maybe a few years ago, you could make an argument. Oh, well, Tank's his power is out of this world. But lately, you look at the Isaac Cruz fight. Where was the power?
Well, he's moving up.
He broke his hand on that dude's head, supposedly.
That's why Manny Pacquiao was such an anomaly because he moved up and kept his power. When guys move up, they lose the power. It's always like that.
Yeah, well, let's see, right? He brought Leo Santa Cruz up from 126 to 130. He was already at 135, so he moved down to fight Leo Santa Cruz. Right, he fought Mario Barros at 140, and he moved down, and then I believe he fought Isaac Cruz after that. Right, so he was moving down for that fucking fight, which is crazy. He's been all over the freaking board. That's maybe his problem.
That's why I haven't watched his fights, because I've heard about him pulling guys up and moving down and stuff like that, and I just don't enjoy watching
Tank
that.
should actually be fighting at 130. He's a small lightweight.
Well, I don't know. He was struggling. He didn't even make 130 like 4 years ago. He had to drop a belt when he went over to the UK because he couldn't make.
Yeah, he got stripped off his IBF. The IBF that he took from Pedraza, he got stripped because he didn't make weight.
He's a 135
because he's eating cheeseburgers, man.
And there is one other thing, guys. Like earlier, someone asked, was it Butcher or BDA? Like, what Tank's, what was the things that Tank is bad at, like skill-wise? I don't know. There is nothing particular that he's doing extremely bad. You can see that he can do a bit of everything. But when you see him performing the way he's performing against those undersized fighters and nobodies, and you clearly see that he's struggling, that he's not having an easy time. Yeah, even against Rolly Ritardo, he was setting him up, but for that punch, for the counter punch, but he was getting outboxed in the process. So. I don't know, not necessarily that he does some things terrible, but not that good enough, especially since he's struggling against mostly nobodies that he's fighting.
Right,
I think one of his biggest problems. I think one of his biggest problems cutting off the ring. He doesn't do it.
Yeah, bro, he's not that good. I don't think he's that good. He's been matched up softly, bro. He's been matched up softly his whole career. And then when he gets any kind of a close matchup like a Pedraza, he was complaining, saying that his promoters were setting him up to fail, and that he wasn't supposed to have that fight yet. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? He was.
I remember that shit.
Complaining about that, bro.
He's like, I'm being set up to lose by Mayweather. All this bullshit, bro.
You know, at least Ryan fought Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like that. People don't give that dude enough credit, bro. He's tall as hell, and he's got good skill set. Luke Campbell, he got good skill set, and
he was a veteran. That was a good fight.
He's a gold medalist in the Olympics.
Resume, bro.
And at least Ryan fought him. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, Tank doesn't have a single Luke Campbell on his record, and like nobody on his resume is at the level of at the same level.
I think.
Don't you guys find it weird? Don't you guys find it weird how Tank is saying that Ryan Garcia is on steroids? He's looking too big. What's up with all that shit? Or like, why accuse the guy that you're fighting against?
To be honest, he probably is on steroids. I mean, damn near all of them are on something.
Yeah.
So you don't think?
I mean,
Tank is the saint. Tank is the exception. He's the good guy, or was
no? He's probably on some. Look, bro, he's under Floyd Mayweather, and Floyd was one of the biggest juicers in the sport that people.
What did Floyd take? What did Floyd take?
Bro, he took. What didn't he take? Is probably the better.
No, but you gotta tell me what he took.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he took testosterone. That's why he fought in Nevada with a 6-to-1 ratio and had 3 times the levels of a 90-year-old man, because he probably messed up taking too much epitestosterone to balance out the scale.
Where's this from?
I don't know. Was it 2009, 2011?
No. There is the journalist, the known journalist that was Muhammad Ali's biographist.
Look up that guy, Mike something. He has a channel. He did a whole thing, like a 50-minute video on Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather himself talks about vampire facials. You know what vampire facials means? That's pretty much the same shit that they were doing in the cycling shit with the blood doping. Is when you remove blood and then put it back in your body.
Bro, boxing to go 12 rounds. You need them PEDs, man.
You have to have it, man. I mean, you can't fight 12 rounds without something extra in your body, bro.
To train for it, you're boxing, you're brutalizing your body, your joints.
Has anybody in this room ever did a 3-round, fought for 3 minutes?
Yeah,
Actually,
I've had a couple
you feel like you fucking die afterwards, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
After my amateur fights, my hands are completely fucked.
You know, it's crazy what actually fighting for 3 straight minutes feels like.
That's hard. It's hard, right? Try do it a couple hundred times.
It depends against who, really.
You know all about it. Hey.
Yeah, you watch Rough and Rowdy. I like watching those. I actually like watching Rough and Rowdy because there's a bunch of amateurs and shit like that. They fight for 2 minutes. They look like they're dead.
Oh yeah.
What else is happening in boxing though? So thank Ryan. We talked about that.
I think the Fury Usyk thing is pretty much similar. You know, they're both really good technical fighters, and Fury just has way too many physical advantages.
Yeah,
is fighting in Fulton.
Yeah, Zhang's also fighting. What's his name? What's his fucking name, man?
Did you say Inouye and Fulton? I just think Inouye is too good, right?
Yeah, I think he's gonna blast him out the ring.
Moving up in weight.
versus Joe Joyce. It's Joe Joyce versus Zhang.
Zhang versus Joyce. Yeah,
and Hrgovic is gonna fight Andy. They're ordering that because Wilder didn't want to
Wilder. You don't want it.
So what's Wilder doing? What's the plan with Wilder? I don't get it.
He's gonna
he's gonna kiss his statue.
Bro, I swear to God, Wilder might be the biggest hype job in boxing history, bro. Like in all of boxing history, it might be one of the biggest hype jobs ever.
It's gonna kiss the statue, then twerk on it.
I mean, his career is an absolute joke.
Wait, who did Wilder fight in his comeback fight?
Hellenius.
The big Viking dude.
Fucking shit! I forgot about who it
was.
Hellenius. Oh man.
Yeah.
And Hellenius probably took a dive, dude. Like, I mean, because he's a tough son of a bitch.
Listen, I don't know, man.
Bro,
I mean, this guy has not like he's not even good.
Man. No, he did get hurt clean. So you know, here's the thing about Wilder. Right? No matter what
hype jobs in boxing, but as far as like heavyweight, long reigning heavyweight champions, 10 plus friggin' defenses and shit like that, he has to be the most hyped up like bum ever.
Probably that most hyped up resume,
Yeah, like
in that regard. Yeah.
I agree, and you cannot even blame it on the era because we had AJ right there, we had the Klitschko's, we had a lot of fighters that he could potentially fight, but he avoided them, and he only fought Fury, bro.
He didn't want to fight Povetkin.
Dillian White.
I mean, bro, he got off the plane in Russia
and
didn't
want to fight Dillian White, bro.
Derek Chisora. He didn't even go through customs. He turned right back around and jumped on the fucking plane going back to America. He was never going to fight Povetkin, dude. Never.
Here, I guarantee you Derek Chisora would have fought him.
Yeah. Wilder, he would have. Chisora would have fought anybody.
If the money was right,
I hear some people say, "Oh, the Klitschko's didn't really fight that many good people," but I mean, they really did. They fought whoever was available.
Yeah, there was nobody really around.
It wasn't like, you know what? It wasn't like, oh, the Klitschko's not fighting this guy in the division. There wasn't anybody else to fight. They fought everybody.
Yeah, when the Klitschko's
Wilder didn't want to fight him when he got his chance. Wilder could have fought him and
he
did
was
it.
dead then. That's why Mayweather and Pacquiao was such a big thing.
Yeah, weren't they under the same? Finkel was also managing Klitschko, wasn't he? Or had something to do with him?
Yeah.
So that's like
I see that pattern a lot. People will say, well, Mike Tyson never fought anybody. Julio Cesar Chavez never fought anybody. What are they going to say about the fighters today in the future?
Yeah, but Mike Tyson was severely ducked, dude. Like he would have fought anybody. There's not like people wouldn't fight him. Look at Holyfield.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Holyfield waited till Tyson came out of jail, bro. People wanted no part of him.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Tyson
after jail
is by far the most feared fighter that probably ever lived. As far as people ducking him, that dude, like, he was a monster, man.
Yeah,
and also Gonzalo Tyson and Julio Cesar Chavez. I think that they suffer from the lack of knowledgeable boxing fans because they fought many badass fighters in their primes. anybody that they could get a fight with, but that they were not like Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I mean, what the fuck?
I don't give a shit.
Rosario in
Spence was at the time. You know, Spence at the time was one of the best fighters in the world. Right?
Yeah,
Tyson
Tyson
just ran through.
You had Holmes. What you had during Tyson was like you had some really good fighters at the end of their career, and then you didn't have many good fighters until the tail end of Tyson's career. He was in a really bad era, and the people that were in his era that were good didn't want any part of him.
Yeah, and like nowadays when they say you let's say oh he hasn't fought anybody. Sometimes you know who that somebody is just somebody with a name that's famous. It's really not that good of a fighter either. So sometimes it just comes down to popularity. Right?
Exactly. Great point. Like we have to differentiate between talent and popularity. By the way, let me just read a quick super chat here from Rider of the Storm. He says, "Funny how the midget going up in weight is the natural fighter, but the naturally taller guy is the one on roids. Who's the one with anger issues?" Good point here. It's true. Now, Tank Davis complaining about Garcia's size and all that. Didn't Tank fight at 140 at some point?
He fought Barrios.
Ryan's 5'10".
Barrios at 140. He's a champion at 140.
Yeah, he did. Make him 140.
Call him a 3-division champion.
Make him 140 at 5'10" is quite easy. I mean, Ryan's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a massive dude. You know, he's taller than me.
Yeah, for real.
I'm
5'10".
Yeah, but you can't hold on. But the thing is, Tank can start complaining about size advantages and this when he actually moved to 140.
Yeah, he's had a size advantage versus everybody he fought, so that's a bad argument.
Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz. Why he fought Leo Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay, Jesus Christ. And even this guy Garcia, his last fight. Yes.
Speaking about size too, that's another thing about Mike Tyson. He was a standard heavyweight, 5'10", 220, and those guys that's when the 6'4", 6'5" guys started coming out of the woodwork too.
Yeah.
That's another thing about Tyson era. He was a regular size heavyweight fighting friggin' Goliaths. You know what I mean?
I'm 5'9" now. I've spent my whole life fighting 6'2", 3, 4, 5 guys. You know.
Yeah, that shit's not easy.
Not easy at all.
No.
Not freaking easy, so yeah, I get it.
Especially when you can't grab, like in a street fight, you could grab somebody. Height ain't really an issue.
Yeah,
you
but
put your hands
boxing,
off people.
Yeah.
In a boxing ring with gloves on and you just can only punch, that shit ain't easy, man.
Good point. Rider of the Storm, another contribution. Thank you very much, man. He says PBC has an agreement with VADA that all testing results are kept under wraps. Wonder why? Well, I didn't know that.
You said PBC. We know about them. What about when Floyd fought Manny Pacquiao and in the contract he wanted to have if anybody failed the test, they didn't have to tell the other camp. I mean, come on, those guys are shady as hell. You remember that?
The whole fight was.
Yeah. Floyd wanted to put in the contract that if either one of them failed the test, a drug test, they didn't have to notify the other camp about it.
That's terrible, man. Floyd was terrible. Floyd was bad for the sport of boxing.
Yeah, and then you had him get caught with the IV bag. He gets caught with the IV bag, which is blatant obvious that the only reason you would do something like that is to mask whatever's in your system. There's no reason to take 350 milliliters of the solution he took. Most people that are under dehydration take 50 milliliters. He took 350.
Yeah. There was a cyclist from Spain that failed a drug test from the same substance that Floyd or Canelo got, and it was 100 times less than. Oh no, I mixed it up with Canelo. Sorry. But it was the. The Spanish cyclist. It was precise who broke it down. Who got found with 100 times less of clenbuterol than Canelo had.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I believe Pacquiao is taking something too, though. So, like, we're going to talk on Floyd, but I believe you don't move up 12 weight classes and keep your power if you're not on some gear too, man. You know?
Yeah. All I know is Marquez never lost anything because he and then he pushed out, drank it back again.
My whole thing is just don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't pretend to be this clean fighter. You're trying to clean up the sport when you're one of the dirtiest in the business. That's my whole shit. That's the only thing I care about.
The fighters that talk the most about being clean are probably the dirtiest ones. That's what I think.
Well, they got so much money and they got doctors and they know how to like drastically hide it. Remember the 24/7, the HBO 24/7?
Oh yeah.
Against most.
There was one with Floyd Mayweather, and the guy showed up to Floyd's house. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and he made the guy sit there till 5 a.m. Well, the whole time he had a bottle of water in his hand. You're telling me he couldn't piss for 9 hours?
Yeah, I know.
It was for the Mosley fight.
Yeah, he was sitting there purposely not giving his sample because there's many substances you can take out there that leave your system in 18 to 24 hours. If you drink enough water and you sweat enough. Like, that's how fast they're in and out of your system. So Floyd was notoriously known for doing all of his camps and workouts at 3 a.m. Why do you think that is? Because if he wakes up at 3 a.m. and takes PEDs, if someone shows up at his house at 6, 7 o'clock the next night, there's a really good chance that it's already out of his system. And if he could put the test off for another 6 hours, 7 hours, then it's definitely gone.
And that was the difference in between USADA's and WADA's drug test, because WADA, what they were looking for, WADA's tests would also show you any amount of a natural amount. While USADA's tests were only looking at the ratio of testosterone versus
because it's just urine.
Yeah, and so that's basically why by doing the USADA test, my point is by doing the USADA test, that's exactly what Floyd was doing. He was waiting for his test levels to drop to a pretty normal ratio.
Exactly. Especially in Nevada, especially in the whole state of Nevada, where it's 6-1 instead of every other state. In 49 other states, it's 4-1, and Nevada is the only one that it's 6-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is this official down here? Yeah.
And that's why Floyd never left Nevada as well. He never fought anywhere else.
Yeah. Is this official down there? Yeah. Official.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, it's me.
How you doing, man? It's been a while.
Yeah. A long time, man.
And you know that USADA charges more money than VADA does, and they don't even do the more expensive testing.
They don't test for EPO.
WADA was like 7,000, and WADA was and USADA was taking 27K.
You know what Floyd paid USADA for the Pacquiao Floyd fight? He gave them $180,000.
Oh my god!
For the drug testing, yeah. So what does that do? That buys you the exemption that he got for when he got caught with the bag in his arm. He got an exemption for that. If everybody doesn't remember, he would have got in trouble if they didn't give him the exemption, but they gave him a therapeutic exemption. It's the only way he got. The only reason he got away with it.
It was 2 weeks later.
It was the big news. It was the big news on boxing scene. It was like 7 days before their fight, but since then it got scrubbed all over the internet.
Hours. I mean, how does something like that go away in 24 hours? How is that not talked about? Like, that's crazy.
Mayweather is one of the guys that funded USADA pretty much, so he's one of the owners. So of course he's gonna be able to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, and he paid, and he had to pay Manny whatever it was in court with non-disclosure.
I'm surprised they even let us know that the motherfucker was using a fake IV. I'm surprised they even let that shit slip. To be real with you.
Yeah, I just wonder how Marquez took his drug tests. Wait a minute.
Well, he was drinking his own piss.
That's what I'm saying. Wait a minute.
Well, remember he had a designer drug with Radia.
Yeah.
It was enough to change like one one atom in the shit, in the mix he was giving him in order to go undetected, because the drug test in WADA, they had the exact pattern they were looking for, and once you change it, tweak it just a bit, it's you're unable to find it. That's why they say the cheaters, the doctors who are creating those tests, those steroids, are always a step or two ahead.
Yeah, because they're always making
By
new
the way,
compounds.
Memo Heredia, I saw a post. He's working with David Benavides right now in Rayo Valenzuela with the Benavides camp.
Who?
Memo, it's Memo time. Memo Heredia.
Okay, that's cool.
Didn't Mayweather hired Memo Heredia for the Pacquiao fight? If I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't it the Manny Pacquiao strength and conditioning coach that he hired right after?
The one that
maybe it was that guy. I confused him, bro. That's why.
I thought his first name was
both of
David. I thought his first name was David something.
The one who kicked Freddie Rosenfels.
There was Alex Ariza that he
right there.
Alex
Ariza.
Yeah, that guy Ariza.
Yeah,
and only for the Floyd fight, he also hired Heredia, but that was only for the Pacquiao fight.
Supposedly that was the guy who had Manny Pacquiao's water bottle, the special water bottle too. When he was in Manny's corner, they were like, "Oh, this guy always brings a special bottle. Maybe that's why Manny's so good." That's what people used to say. And then Floyd.
He used to work with Robert Garcia too, the Ariza guy. I haven't seen him there.
Yeah.
I mean, if these strength and conditioning coaches know how to do a certain mix of compounds from GNC that are actually legal, but actually drastically help the fighters, there's no way they're going to tell anybody about it. They're going to be like, "Oh, here's your water." You know what I'm saying? Like, and as long as the guy's not failing any tests, all they know is, "Damn, this guy's great." You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know why he's so good. They're like, "Damn, this guy's the best strength and conditioning coach." Meanwhile,
they don't know. I don't know about that. I remember. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I've been saying this for years, right? I'm more surprised when a boxer does get caught.
Yeah,
like they're so good at night. They're so good now at timing. When
you know what happens is when you take a compound for so long of time, your body starts to absorb it for longer amounts of time. So, like when you first start taking something, your body will put it out real quick, maybe a day or two. But when you start to take it over a course of a year or 2, 3 years, you start building it up. Then it no longer leaves your system in 2 days. Sometimes it takes 4 days, and then that's when they get popped because they don't know that it's taking longer now for their system to clear that substance.
The thing is now they got people around them who know all this, right? So they're like, make sure you take this 4 days before your drug test or whatever it is, right?
Well, that's what it is. They usually get caught because they show up when they're not supposed to, because it's supposed to be random, right? You know, so maybe that's how they get caught. Is because
there's no way it's random, because the amount of people that don't get fucking caught, right? I'm more surprised now because they're so good at masking it, or they just pay off these fucking,
There's just not enough of them, though. That's just two-way. There's not enough agents as to how many fighters there are.
Yeah, no, I know that. I know.
The bottom line is, black fighters like to fucking say everybody's on steroids, but I think maybe everybody's on steroids, but that's including them as well. The black fighters, not just Canelo, not just Ryan Garcia, bro. You feel me?
The Charlo brothers, the one Charlo brother, didn't answer the door when the VADA guy showed up, when the USADA guy showed up.
Which one, Jamal?
One of them, okay. I forget which one of them was, but he was on strike 2 because you're allowed to duck a test 2 times before it counts as an automatic fail. Isn't that one of the rules?
It was in fact both of them failing because both of them supposedly took a plane and went to Thailand.
Right, exactly. So they ducked one of the tests. So that's, in my opinion, if you're running away from the examination, that's because you're going to fail the examination, correct? Or else, why else would you run?
Yeah, I thought is if you don't show up and you don't have a reason or whatever, it's an automatic fail.
you get like one. You get like one strike though. It's not an automatic. You get like one strike, and if it happens a second time, then you get an automatic fail.
I remember Chavez Jr. didn't want to get drug tested, so he wasn't allowed to fight in Nevada, I think. So they switched the fight to Arizona. I don't know why he didn't want to get drug tested. Probably he was on something.
Supposedly, well, what he said that they showed up and they didn't want to show their badges. So with just some random people, hey, give me your piss, but they don't want to identify.
They don't want to
themselves.
show their badges. They don't have badges. They're not cops.
I mean, they're not cops, but come on, man. If you're from fucking Vada, you have to have something saying you're from fucking Vada, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Like at least an ID or something.
I'm not talking about cop badges. I'm talking about an identifying marker, like a
identification.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah.
Well, I'm a government employee. I don't have a government ID.
Oh, so you should. You know what I mean? Most government employees do have an ID.
And USADA and VADA is a private company, so I don't know if they have like badges or something like that. I mean, I'm sure.
But you know what I mean. I don't know. Maybe it's the semantics. I mean, you have to identify yourself wherever you are. I mean,
I'm sure you have something. Come on.
You ring the doorbell with your little clipboard and your bag, and you say, "Hi, I'm from USADA. I'm here to take your test."
Your bag. Yeah.
Well, and that's the reason. That's the reason why Chavez didn't want to take the test, because. Basically, what you're saying
is call up the company and find out, does this such and such agent work for you? Yeah, he does. Okay. I mean,
wouldn't it be much easier if you just had a badge saying you're from that place?
I don't know. Like I said, most companies don't like make badges for their employees.
Well, not an ID or something, whatever.
That's not the first time I've heard people having issues with people from VADA not identifying themselves correctly, or like coming at people sideways saying, I don't need to identify myself. I'm VADA, and you need to do this now.
Coming at people sideways, or is that fighters trying to use excuses to get out?
Well, it could be that. It could be that too. But I'm saying I've heard of multiple instances where fighters in USADA, they say like, I don't like the way they approached me. It was a very weird, strange way. But it also, you probably, you might be pissed.
And the situation with that, I could understand that never sober, because. Let's say you're all from battle, but then you're not. Then you tamper with the evidence. You tamper with that sample.
Yeah,
right?
If you're not,
no random people's gonna want to come take your piss just because. I mean, your piss ain't worth shit. I'm just saying.
I understand that. But if they're not from USADA, then their sample is irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, whatever they say, it's not.
According to you, I could walk up and go, "I'm from VADA." I'm from VADA.
What are you going to do with the sample?
Imagine if some pervert.
I mean, the only thing you can do is the only thing you get is a souvenir. You got one of the fighters' urine. That's the only thing you got. You can't do nothing with it. You can't fucking get them in trouble, even if they're. Say you pretend to be a USADA agent and you roll up to a fighter. They believe you. They give you the test. You even spend the money, because now you're going to have to pay for the money. You send it to a lab and they fail. Now you got evidence they failed, but you can't do nothing with it. You're not a real fucking agent. You can't be like, oh, look, they failed this test. I got this here. They're like, oh, yeah, where's the evidence?
I'm sure they get paid. You could go, we can get you some clean ones if you give me.
Maybe what you could do is, you could hold it ransom on them. Like, yo, I fucked you over. I got this dirty test on you. I'm going to put this shit out into the news unless you pay me. That's about the only thing you can do, is blackmail them.
Yeah, blackmail the shit out of them. You can go up to them. You can go, all right.
Yeah, but it depends on who you're trying to blackmail. You try that shit on me, I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Go ahead, send it to them. I'm going to tell them you're lying anyway.
give me clean puss, right? Give me clean puss. Right, pay me off.
Yeah. Right? I mean, that's about the only thing you can do.
Pay me off, and or forget about it.
Is Haney versus Lomachenko already done, or you guys haven't heard anything?
I hope so.
Yeah, supposedly.
I think Loma is gonna freaking beat the dog shit out of Haney, and finally people could shut up about Haney, because he's another one that they overhype for no reason.
I hope, bro. I hope.
I think Haney will win, but Yeah, it won't surprise me if Loma shows up for this one, right? Because he hasn't looked great the last few fights. He just hasn't.
It's his last chance. Plus, by the way, guys, what do you think about this? David Haney's girlfriend has more A-listers on her resume than Haney himself.
Oh, she's a pig?
Well,
no, she's had sex with all kinds of rappers and all that shit. All kinds of celebrities. Let's just say they ran a train on the lady, and now she's with Haney.
Yeah, I tell you this, no doubt. I'd rather a girl be with 20 guys instead of 2 people that I know. We walk in a room with a girl and she fuck 2 other dudes that are in the room that you actually know. That hurts more than if she was a pig in her life and you just didn't know about it.
Yeah, then y'all make eye contact and he like raises his eyebrows like, yeah. And you're
like,
no.
Oh, you're with her? Like, yeah, I had that. That's the worst feeling, bro. That's got to be like the worst feeling ever, bro. Fuck that.
I don't know. I'm just asking. What's your name?
Identify yourself.
What?
Oh, who, me, Mark? The one who said I'd rather be with a chick who banged 20 people instead of 2 people I know?
No, I'm saying what's her name? Haney's girlfriend.
I think her name is India Love.
India Love.
Yeah, she just sounds like a pig.
Just by the name alone, you already know she's been through India Love. Come on, bro.
Yeah, because you know she changed her name for clout. So she's been.
Yeah, because she gives a lot of love to all the rappers. I mean,
much love.
Hey, Busho, Usyk versus Fury overtook Davis versus Garcia on the poll.
Oh, are you kidding?
It's at 31% now.
Let me check.
Didn't Wilder's wifey get slammed up by somebody else too? What's up with these guys, bro?
I don't know. They're crazy. Usyk, Fury, 31%.
That overtook Tank versus Garcia.
Yeah. Garcia versus Davis is at 28%.
I had a Nuri versus Fulton. I'm looking forward to that if that happens.
Yeah, I want all of those fights, but the question here is which fight is the most exciting one? Or the most the biggest
I still
fight?
want to see AJ. I still want to see AJ versus Fury and AJ versus Wilder. Those are the 2 I want to see because that's a fight.
What's exciting about Usyk and Fury?
Nothing much because I don't think there's going to be a knockout. I think
heavyweight champion of the world.
For 12 rounds.
I mean, it's for all the belts and everything, but is that the most exciting fight you can think of?
For heavyweight division, bro.
It's good for boxing fans.
I'm saying in all of boxing.
It's good for boxing fans.
I mean, I chose Davis versus Garcia, bro, and I said it earlier. But I'm looking forward to Usyk versus Fury, bro. That's undisputed. I haven't seen undisputed ever pretty much as far as the heavyweight division goes.
Say something here about now that Rarebreed is here. Rarebreed, didn't you say last year that Crawford versus Spence was gonna happen and you were sure about it?
Oh man, I want to see that too.
I was wrong about
it doesn't
that.
happen. If that fight doesn't happen by the end of this year, it's never gonna happen.
It's gonna look. It's probably gonna happen. I'm done with that fight anyway.
That's the closest thing to Floyd versus
Pacquiao right
now. Benavidez King of Plant. I'm looking forward to that there if it happens. Or Beterbiev, whatever his name is. I always get Benavidez and Beterbiev mixed up. Right? The 168 guy.
Honestly,
I don't know, but Plant versus Benavidez, I heard it's official already.
I think Yard's got a chance.
Here,
Callum Johnson, what's his name? Callum Johnson put Beterbiev down.
Yeah, but Yard's got a chance of walking out of the ring with his head stolen.
And Yard's got a chin as well.
What's up with Bivol and Beterbiev? Are they ever going to fight?
I don't know.
Not anytime soon.
The WBC
2024 maybe. Let's see what happens.
Honestly, I don't think the boxing wants. The people who run boxing want that fight to happen. Being that those are
two Russians, they don't want.
That's the one I want to see the most.
Fight undisputed. That's what it seems like for me.
They're not even Russian like that. One's Chechnyan, and Bivol's Africans from
That's not
Asia,
true. That's not gonna happen.
Asia and Korean.
Bibble looks Korean or something.
Yeah.
Bro, straight up.
He's half Korean, bro.
No,
It depends on what happens with that Canelo rematch.
Kyrgyzstan.
He's half
That's
Korean and
a
Kyrgyzstan.
Bevo is half Moldavian, by the way.
That's
He's
what
from
I
Moldova.
For me,
From Moldova. His dad's from Moldova, and his mother is from South Korea.
For me, that's the most 50-50 fight in the card, though.
Yeah, because
right?
that's a guy who's highly skilled versus a guy who just I don't even know if he could be knocked out.
Here's my thing with Beterbiev, right? Or Beterbiev always gets.
Wait. Did you just say Beterbiev can't be knocked out? Didn't he get hurt by that British guy? What's his name?
Yeah, we just said that.
He got hurt by Callum Johnson.
Yeah, Callum Johnson. Well, he just said a highly skilled guy versus a guy who can't be knocked out. I'm just saying he has been hurt before.
I think they're both highly skilled, though. That's my.
They are.
Beterbiev good at what he does. He's good at hunting down. He holds a high guard. He's got good upper body movement.
Didn't he beat Usyk once in the amateurs?
Yeah. He's a fucking great boxer.
He almost did. He almost took bodies.
Look, how I see it, Beterbiev and Bivol, they're not gonna fight anytime soon. Bavarum already said that Beterbiev has to fight Jard, and after Jard, Callum Smith is next, which tells me that the fight is gonna happen in a year and a half, 2 years from now, if it ever happens. And by then, Beterbiev is gonna be fucking old, bro. He's already old as it is.
Bro.
He's getting injured.
He's already old. Hey, stylistically,
Bivol is going to outboxing, bro. That's all I got to say.
But hold on. Stylistically, Anthony Yards is kind of a dangerous fight, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm going with the upset for that one. I know it's hard to conceive since he hasn't lost ever and he's got all the knockouts. All his fights are by knockout. So when you've never seen anybody lose, it's hard for you to say, oh, that guy's going to lose. But if you think about it, I think maybe, dude, it could be an upset.
I think Anthony Yard, right? I think Anthony Yard being lucky to leave the ring with his head still attached. That's what I think.
Well, it's because Beterbiev, he's been getting all these knockouts. He knocked out Smith in 2 rounds. So when you hadn't seen that dude lose and he stopped everybody, it's hard for you to pick otherwise. You're gonna when it happens.
Lose.
When it happens in hindsight, when it happens in hindsight, people are gonna be like, "Oh man, I knew that shit was gonna happen."
Yeah, I know his amateur career as well, so I know he's a fucking great amateur as well. So I'm just going off that background. It's just not off his thing run. You know what I mean? Like
he had over 300 amateur fights.
It's off a long amateur run as well. Right, I know.
I'm not saying that Anthony Yard's better than Beterbiev, but I think he's younger and athletic and big enough that he might catch him with one punch, and he might be old enough and kind of like shop worn with all them injuries. Hold on, he might be shop worn with all them injuries. He might be right for the pickings.
I mean, you don't really have to go back to the amateurs, bro. Just go and look at Beterbiev versus Bostic. Bostic was a phenomenal boxer. He was a good boxer, and Beterbiev pretty much retired his ass, bro.
Beterbiev the retired Bosnic's ass. Let's get it real here.
Yeah, but if you look at that fight, I don't want to break anyone's balls with analysis, but Gvozdyk, it was weird the way he was performing. At the beginning, he was moving around, but when he was punching, he would stay at the same range. And while Bivol, he's like with almost every single punch, he's changing the distance, going in or out.
I mean, I have Bivol beating Beterbiev, bro. Like I said, because they're not gonna fight anytime soon, and by then Beterbiev's gonna be old. But I'm just bringing out the Bostic fight because Bostic was coming out of leaving Adonis Stevenson, or I forgot who it was. He left him in a coma, bro. So he was getting a lot of hype, and then Beterbiev made him look like he wasn't really all that great. But he's really a good boxer. But Beterbiev retired him pretty much, bro. So that tells me that Beterbiev is a good boxer as well, not just a freaking puncher, bro.
I think he's a phenomenal boxer. He's just been beating guys up. and that's why I'm picking him. I still think he's a top boxer. You know, we're not seeing his full skill set yet. You know, or a consistent skill set.
I don't know, man. I agree, but at the same time, he's getting old already, bro.
Who's the other Russian
old,
he
bro.
fought that was also pretty good, though? I think he won the WBC belt from him. I can't remember his name. Another Russian. Another, like, Alexander or some shit.
Govzik? Alexander Govzik?
Yeah, that guy.
Talking about it, bro.
Yeah, he was a good fighter. He was a good boxer.
Yeah.
About 2-3 fights ago, better be if he looked off. I think the fight was in Russia. He got the knockout like in the 11th round, but he kind of looked off in that fight. That's him, huh? Yeah. He didn't look that great that fight.
Yeah, but why didn't he look great? The other guy was a good fighter.
If you're talking about the Enrico Colling fight, yeah, man, that blonde German guy, yeah, he was doing some very nice things in the ring. I was seeing. I mean, yeah, he didn't have power to
Yeah,
hurt
that's the guy he retired, dude. That guy hasn't fought since 2019. He was 18-0. He was 18-0. He fought Beterbiev, got knocked out, and he hasn't been back since.
Oh yeah,
I just looked it up. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, he beat Adonis Stevenson. That dude was good. He was no like walk in the park. Yeah, that's the dude that damn near killed what's his name? Stevenson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was pretty good.
Yeah, he was.
And he freaking ended his career. So
don't you also just say?
Yeah, I had already said that earlier, but yeah, the problem that I have with Beterbiev is he's getting old, bro, and he's human, bro. Like a lot of people don't think that shit's gonna affect Beterbiev. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. He's a human, bro. He's already getting injured in camp constantly, bro. He's gotten injured 4 times in the last 2 years, bro. That's a lot, bro. And that's the age, bro.
I just don't think Yard's the guy.
He'll turn 37 this year.
Yeah, I just don't think Yard's the guy.
Oh nah, I have Beterbiev beating the shit out of Yard, bro. It's not even gonna go the distance.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were talking about Yard.
Bro.
Like Yard's not gonna beat fucking Beterbiev. Come on.
Yeah, but I was talking about Bivol, you know.
He could.
Yeah, Bivol. No, he could.
That dude just looks. Look at that.
He's got a lot of power. He's got an 88% knockout ratio. So there's a chance out.
Trash. Look at that Kovalev fight.
He just looks fucking scary. That guy. Look at his face, bro. You want to get in the ring with that guy? I wouldn't.
Yeah, he looks like the real life Ivan Drago.
Yeah, I don't see Jard making it past the fucking 9th round, bro. He's gonna get finished. I don't trust this shit, bro. I
know there's a shadow.
Get finished by Kovalev.
9 rounds. That's a long time.
Look at those eyes, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 9 rounds. If fuck around, you know, Yard lands a nice punch. Beterbiev goes down.
Beterbiev is from
people
he's
big.
from Siberia, dog. It's like -40 over there, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I just see Yard's head rolling off the shoulders. That's it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Jard is a good fighter, actually. He's well rounded, but I don't think he's gonna be able to take the power that Beterbiev carries, bro. It's too much.
He should have beat Kovalev if he didn't gas out.
He probably out there wrestling there with what's his name, Khabib. They probably wrestling this guy.
We have a super chat here from Plutonium.
That knockout was from exhaustion.
Oh shit!
Who got stabbed by a jab?
Sorry guys, we had some issues here. Super chat from Plutonium Loach. He says Yard ain't doing mierda. Beterbiev takes him out sooner than Smith. Holy shit! There you have it from Plutonium.
Yeah,
mierda is shit for anybody who doesn't.
Yard is better than Smith.
Was the bear?
Smith had a crazy game plan. Let me just try to walk down the bully. That was smart.
Well, what else was?
Yeah,
could he do? I understand, but he was I mean, at least he tried.
Well, I mean, to be fair to Smith, that's all he can do. That's all he knows to do.
I mean, what do you want him to do? Like fucking dance around and throw a jab or some shit? No.
Smith,
Well, you gotta give Smith. You gotta give
Not
Smith
dance around, but be more careful. Good like, you can't just walk into Lion's Pit like that.
Yo, Smith went from being a tired. Smith went from being a laborer.
He did what he had to do.
He went from being a New York laborer to being a prize fighter, bro. Like I give that dude a lot of credit, man.
Oh yeah,
He said that the Smith fight was harder than it looked. I don't know what he meant by that, but he said that the Smith fight was harder than it looked.
He's just trying to give him some props. That's all that was. Right?
Smith was a gatekeeper, dude, and then he became a legitimate contender.
He almost knocked out Bivol. Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Well, in that fight,
he landed a nice
he
punch.
hit him after the bell, so that's why he got hurt because Bivol he turned his head away.
I didn't even know they fought. I'm gonna go watch that fight. It went 12 rounds.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. He pretty much.
They fought back like in 2018, I think.
That was right in the beginning of COVID, like right when I stopped watching boxing. Wow, check that out. I'm gonna go back and watch that. That's a fight I've never seen.
Yeah. He pretty much dominated all 12 rounds, right?
Yeah,
just
that's all right.
Punch, So that was basically it.
That's all right. I just like Joe Smith got a fucking tough ass heart, bro. So if he was in there getting his brains beat in, I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah. No, I give Joe Smith all the credit in the world. Right? He wasn't meant to be what he was, and
I'm also from New Jersey. I probably could have even been on a job site with that guy because I'm a union carpenter.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I was, but there's a good chance that I could have ended up on a job site with that dude. So for him to turn out to do what he did, I give him a lot of credit.
Yeah,
like he wasn't meant to be there.
Got a little bit popular when he beat Fonfara, I think, because everybody thought Fonfara was gonna beat him, right? Fonfara was looking good back then, and then Smith Jr. exposed him. Yeah, Fonfara beat Chavez Jr.'s ass. I remember that shit, bro.
Hey, retired Bernard Hopkins as well. That was kind of dramatic when he flew off the ring.
That's what put him. That's what put him on the map, though, because he won his title, right?
Yeah, because I think Bernard Hopkins was coming off.
Fonfara put him on the map, and the Bernard Hopkins shit just elevated it because he threw him off the ring with the punch,
Yeah, I thought he got his title from Fonfara. Actually, I'm not sure, but
he did. Yeah.
He defended it against Hopkins, and he did a Hasim Rahman on his
Hopkins moved up, didn't he? Hopkins moved up to fight him, didn't he? I think.
Nah, Hopkins fought somebody else that was fighting at 175.
Yeah.
The Kazakhstani guy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he made someone look real silly. Someone that was good. Was it the dude from Canada?
You mean the guy who was Pascal?
Was it Pascal?
I'm gonna go.
I think it was Pascal.
Yeah, it was Pascal. Yep, at one. Yeah.
So
remember when Bernard Hopkins was gonna rematch Pascal? Pascal was at the interviews at one of the press conferences telling Bernard to take a drug test, and Bernard Hopkins got pissed to the point where he squared up with him right there, and Pascal was like, "Take the test, take the test."
You know what's funny though is that's when Hopkins started talking about how he turned back Father Time because of the way he was eating and shit like that. He probably was taking something, and that's why Pascal was like, "Take that test."
Oh, of course it was. There was no way he was that. Right, there was no way he was like that at 50. There was no way in hell.
He used to wear the alien costume and shit. Get out of here, Hopkins.
He got that guilty reaction, like when you accuse them of something, they just want to fight.
Yeah, like when your girl accuses you of cheating and you know you were, and you try to tell her you weren't.
He's like, I started eating more oranges, so now I'm getting younger. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm a vegan now. I don't eat meat no more. Now I'm fucking Father Time. Yeah, get out of here.
Oh yeah, he was like, I don't eat sugar, right? I haven't had a fucking ounce of sugar.
I don't think steroids can make you beat Father Time.
He just said something about his new diet was the fountain of youth or some shit. And he beat Father Time. That's all I remember him saying.
The drink, yeah.
But how does steroids make you beat Father Time? Like, because even if you're not
It does.
if you're not living the right life, and you're taking steroids, you're still gonna fall off.
But that's the thing.
later.
He was living the right life. That was the by the steroids, right? I think he was in the gym every day. I think he was training.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I mean, they can raise your testosterone, right? Your testosterone, and that helps you.
Well, let me tell you, rare breed. It's not. We know that all fighters are using them, so it's not like I'm trying to shit on behalf for taking
Well,
them.
I can tell you
But
from
especially at his age, man, it's very important for the recovery for training.
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience because I'm 43 years old, and my doctor gave me androgel, and ever since I was putting that shit on, you wake up in the morning and you have fucking morning wood again, like you did when you were 20 years old. Believe me, that shit fucking.
I would have kept that one to myself, brother.
No, I'm just saying it is what it is, bro. When you get older, you know what I'm saying. You
too
don't have
much
the same fucking vitality that you used to. But when you start taking
I
that
ain't
shit,
there yet. Thank God.
it gets right back, bro. You will believe me.
I'll be 40 next month, so I get you.
You know, you ain't there yet, but when you get older, you start losing testosterone. When you start, when your doctor gives you something to put it back in your body, you remember what it felt like to be 20 again. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And just when you feel that, it turns everything around because then you start getting more confidence and just everything else starts feeling better. And then if you add HGH, which is I'm sure they did, that really turns back. That really knocks off a couple of years because HGH and testosterone, the combination of both, will probably make you feel 20 years younger. Absolutely.
Nope.
And if you're getting it from your doctor and it's pharmaceutical grade, it's actually very healthy for you because it's
What
not healthy
happens when
to lose testosterone
what happens when
at an alarming rate.
what happens when you start taking it but then you stop taking it and then you go back to where you were once? Is it worse?
Well, usually
where you once were?
Usually when you start taking it, that's it. You're on what's called testosterone replacement therapy, and you're just on it.
Yeah, because it can when you start using it, your body can stop producing it
Yeah,
on its
you no
own.
longer produce it. But if you get to that point, you weren't producing enough anyway. Then you're just, you might as well just be on it.
It's like Jose Canseco, the baseball player. He did a lot of steroids, and I saw a documentary where like now his levels were like really really low permanently.
Yeah,
No
but a guy like
testosterone.
that who abused steroids, he has no choice but to take that shit because if not, he'll dead up feel like a woman. It'll be like he'll be so depressed he'll kill himself. That's how bad he would feel if he didn't take something.
It's like me with no drink.
Yeah, if Floyd really did abuse PEDs, then he'll be on testosterone replacement therapy for the rest of his life too. There's just no way around it. You can't abuse steroids when you're younger and then think that you're gonna have normal levels when you're older when you lose it anyway.
Yeah. Hey, I got
I'm sure the body will regenerate itself where it'll kind of balance out after a long time. I mean, it's never going to be the way you were, but I guess it'll be all right.
Yeah,
it
but
would
when
be all
you
right
go
after a while.
when you go from feeling a certain way to drastically feeling way different, you start to get depressed and shit like that, and then depressed will just deteriorate your body even more.
I get it. Yeah, it's that's the problem. Like with it's probably addicting too because
absolutely,
it's like with
it's
drugs, man.
It's a mental fuck.
Yeah, it's like with drugs. People that do the methamphetamines, for example, it puts your mind in an elevated state. That once you're off it and you never get that euphoria, like that happy feeling again, like you once did, you're always chasing that. You want it.
Well, shit, methamphetamine is a totally different monster, dude. That destroys brain cells, and what you lose, you never get back. Every other drug, if you abuse it, it destroys your brain cells, but your brain will repair itself over time. Methamphetamine, whatever you destroy, stays destroyed. It never gets repaired. That's why it's the worst drug out there.
Yeah.
That and fentanyl too, man. I was watching something about that yesterday. It's like super addictive.
Yeah, but even with fentanyl, you destroy brain cells, they grow back eventually over time. With methamphetamine, it never grows back.
Yeah, I heard fentanyl's pretty much synthetic heroin, so I mean, it'll kill you.
It's crazy how like a little small amount though is enough to kill like 200 million people or some shit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw this YouTube thing where this cop just touched it or like smelled it. He just smelled it, and he fucking passed out. He almost died.
Yeah, it's like a kilogram of that is like 100 kilos of heroin or some shit. Some crazy number.
All right, what else can we talk about here? You know, we don't really have a schedule yet for 2023. Think about it. Jesus.
I think there's unboxings today, Mucho.
Yeah, guys, mute your mic if you're not gonna be talking, please. Mute your mic, please. All right.
Somebody out there making a drink or what?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's making.
There's some Friday night fights today. Some 8 rounders, like 4 or 5 fights.
All right.
4 fight card.
Who's that?
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about big fights, man. Like fucking big fights. Where are they?
The only people putting on the big fights is the PBC. Shout out to Showtime and PBC.
Yeah, we have a lot of pay-per-views coming up with Showtime, so thank you, PBC.
I mean, the only one I could think about is Leon Smith versus the other guy, Eubank Jr.
Well, later on today. The next week,
the gay dude versus. I don't even know how to describe Mr. Smith.
Navides versus Plant, that's coming up too.
Eubank Jr. had like a fucking pride flag, right? Like something like that, and then Leon Smith was like, "Why are you being gay or some shit?"
No, he said that basically accused him of being gay in the press conference. So the next day during weigh-in, I guess to show like support for the, gay community, he came in with that flag or armband. So that's why he did that.
Yeah, I just saw some memes where they were making fun of Eubank Jr. for carrying the LGBT flag around. Whatever.
Yeah, he could be gay. I mean, his dad was definitely weird as fuck. I'll say that. Senior.
Yeah, I think he just wants to get on people's good sides because he was seen more like Conor Ben was seen more like the villain, and he was kind of like portrayed in a better light because of what Conor Ben did. He's trying to cater to the people now instead of fucking fighting. I still want to see that full fight because, yeah.
I hope Conor Ben beats the case so he can get exposed.
Eubank Senior did have that soft ass voice with the lisp, right?
Yeah, he was a weird dude.
Yeah, I feel like they demonize Conor Ben too much, bro. When there's a lot of motherfuckers
fuck that guy.
on something, bro.
I hope he gets fed to Virgil or Boots. He needs to get he doesn't need to get suspended
that's
or
that's
all
that weird
shit.
UK shit though because they did the same thing with Lewis and what's the hell's his name? Lennox Lewis and the other
Lennox
and the other big British heavyweight.
Can't think of neither one.
I can't think of his name, but they never gave
Frank Bruno.
They never. Right, Frank Bruno. They never Frank Bruno got way more love from the UK fans than Lewis, and that shit got Lewis so heated, bro. He hated that shit.
Isn't it because Lennox Lewis was also like Canadian too?
Yeah, I think he was from Canada, but still, he lived in the UK.
I mean, that's a shame because
he did win a medal for Canada, bro, in the Olympics instead of the UK. So I see why they're mad at
Yeah, he won a medal for Canada. Yeah.
He was way better than that bum ass nigga Frank Bruno.
That's Fury was kind of like that too, though, because he won his titles. He went and beat Klitschko. He came back and he didn't get no parade or no shit. Like nobody was at the airport waiting from him. That had him feeling salty as hell. And then AJ came up the ranks, and the UK fans started to love him. And that pissed Fury off tremendously, bro. He talked about that shit before.
You know why though?
No, I don't. For some reason, the UK fans, it's like when there's two good UK fighters, they always pick one that they ride for, and the other one feels left out. They always do that shit.
I mean, it's like that everywhere, you know.
But in America, we got a lot of people that a bunch of fans love a bunch of people.
I mean, it didn't help that his fight against Klitschko wasn't exactly fun to watch.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, but it was still like a really good achievement for a guy like that, especially when he said, "Look at the shape of me," and Klitschko looked like a goddamn Greek god, and he went over there.
I have a theory why that happened. Fury, in the beginning of his career, was kind of viewed as like a villain type, you know. And
yeah,
let's
he
be
beat
real.
that Dumas guy, that other guy too. He was another UK guy, and when people thought he lost that fight, and they actually changed the rules because people thought he lost that fight. So he was getting shit ever since then.
McDermott fight, yeah.
McDermott,
But Joshua was portrayed as like the you know, the clean
cut,
nice guy type. You know, basically the opposite of Fury, and not to mention he's more marketable because he's a better looking dude. No homo.
Not only that, they get a lot of shit. The travelers are considered like low lives in the UK, bro. For real,
he's a gypsy too.
They call them gypsies and shit. They're not from nowhere.
But here's the thing. They call themselves gypsies, right? If you talk to any traveler, they call themselves gypsies, right?
They do.
And that's the thing, right? I spent a lot of time sparring travelers and gypsies, right? Tell you right now, some of the nicest fucking people, honest people you ever fucking meet.
I tell you what, though, I can't understand the goddamn word they say, though, bro.
No, you don't understand the word they say, right? Some of the most honest and thing people you ever meet, right? You know, friendly. I've never met a gypsy I didn't like.
I think Tyson Fury's talked about in an interview before about how he's been treated differently because he's a gypsy, and how he tried to get into a bar or a pub, and they said, "Okay, you can come in," and then they stopped his boy behind him and they said, "You can't come in." And he's like, "What's up with that?" And he's like, "Ain't no gypsies allowed in here. You can come in because you're the heavyweight champ, but these guys, they can't come in here." And like, I guess Tyson Fury was like, "Well, fuck off then," or whatever. But he said, you know, he's faced that kind of behavior before he was champ and after, like, you know.
Yeah, but
you think maybe because they're troublemakers?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like, they're like soccer fans. You know those crazy ass soccer fans. You know what I'm saying? You go into a bar, you start
the hooligans.
drinking. Yeah, they're like hooligans. You know what I mean? They love to fight. Like, they literally just and like when they hang out and chill, they're fighting each other. That's them on Friday night. They go around and there's like 10 fights. They're all drinking and they're just beating the shit out of each other. So when they go to bars and start drinking, they're fighting people. So I understand if I'm a bar owner, I'm gonna be like, listen, bro, I can't have you guys in here. You're beating up my customers. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got nothing to do with them just because they're gypsies. It's probably because they're rowdy as hell.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? I'm telling you, if you're around a gypsy and you're hanging around with them, right? Honest as fuck. They tell you right out, right? If they don't fucking like you, if they like you, no fucking pretense.
So I'm sure they're
right?
good.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're good if they like you, but if they don't like you, it's probably a real issue.
I've never had a problem with any of them. You know what I mean? Like, and I've sparred and fought a lot of gypsies, so never. You what?
Were you fighting in a PlayStation or what? PlayStation 4 or 5?
He's a PlayStation.
No, right? I used to box, right? So, and they fucking box by the roads, right? You go into any fucking town in Ireland, right? And you see, I guarantee you there's probably like 10 gypsies in every boxing gym in this country. It's, you know.
I mean, if you grow
know
up
what I mean? Like,
fighting, that would be the smartest thing to do is go into a boxing ring because you grew up fighting. I mean, that's probably why they got good chins and shit. Fury probably does got a good chin. I mean, we haven't really seen him rocked, but he gets up, right? Like Wilder, who's getting up from that shot? Probably nobody, but he got up.
Yeah, 99% of human beings don't get up from that shot.
Like, I've seen
bare knuckle tournament, right? They have bare knuckles tournaments within their community.
Oh yeah, I've fought free gypsies bare knuckle. They're fucking tough bastards. I'm telling you, right? You hit these guys with everything you fucking have, and they're still coming at you.
Yeah, that's got to be. You know, you got like how you do certain things to build your muscles and shit. I'm sure fighting your whole life and taking shots on the chin. I mean, I'm sure that's how you get a granite chin. You don't just maybe
I heard they have like generational beef. Like this family has beef against this family, and that's how it's always been. And they do fucking bare knuckle tournaments to settle their beef and all this shit.
And then it's over. I mean, that's a good way to live, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you got beef, you fight it out, and it's over. That's it.
Yeah, that's how they do. That's how they do, right? There's a lot of fucking testosterone. There's a lot of fucking.
I mean,
pride,
it's better than shooting each other and all that crazy shit, bro. How I see it. At least you stay alive. You may lose some brain cells in the process, but you
want to
alive,
get with some chick and shit like that, but you got to beat her brother up just so you can be with her. It's just some crazy madness, bro. Like, I want to go with your sister. All right, well, come over tonight. You know, we'll hash it out.
Here's the thing, right? A lot of women in that culture, and I'm telling you now, right? They don't go with guys unless that guy is going to marry them, right?
Yeah.
So they don't, So the first guy, most of these women, and the first guy, most of these women are with is the guy they fucking marry. The majority, right? If you go and you get a girl knocked up in the gypsy culture, you have to marry her.
And you get an ass whooped by her brothers and father.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, that's how you fucking do it, right? If you knock up a gypsy girl, you have to marry that girl. That's
why they get the word shotgun wedding from.
Yeah, that's how they do it, right? You have to take responsibility.
You're gonna marry her regardless. It's gonna be under a gun or willingly.
Yeah, right. They'll send the whole clan. If you don't, they'll send the whole clan after you. That's fucking how they fucking do it. I ain't lying to you.
I mean, that brings more order to how things are, because like a lot of these kids that are growing up with no dad or whatever, and then they don't know how to behave and shit, and at least maybe the gypsies don't have that in their community that often because they're forced to marry a girl that they get pregnant. You feel me?
Yeah, there's no kids, there's no fatherless. The worst thing for society is fatherless men.
Yeah, and that's what they do, right? If you're, because I knew a guy, right? He was 16 years old. He was dating one of the. He's a gypsy, he was a gypsy, right? And he's dating one of the gypsies from another family, right? He got her knocked up, right? A year later, they were married in orders of the father, of the bride. They had to marry her. Right?
Yeah, but I'm sure the father of the kid forced him to marry her too, because all the fathers like that.
His father forced to marry. His father forced to marry, and her father forced them to marry. Right?
Yeah, that's
and
their,
the mothers,
that's their
together.
culture.
They said,
"You lay with the woman."
They said, you fucking knocked her up. You had to take responsibility for it. That's pretty much how they did it, right? So, yeah, I've seen that done. So.
That's just old fashioned.
More people should adopt. More people should adopt that.
Yeah, at least where you stand with them. That's my thing with them. Because I've seen them tell people outright, I don't fucking like you. You know what I mean? Like just as blunt as that.
Yeah,
hey, there's a lot of gypsies over there where you're from.
You fight.
I never met one, bro. Like straight up.
You fight somebody.
Yeah.
Pretty much have to fight somebody if they come up to you and say that to you, like straight to your face. What are you gonna do? You either fight them or you just walk away and accept it, I guess.
Yeah. Right. Pretty much. Yeah. There's gypsies here, right? Every fucking boxing club you walk into, right? Yeah. There's gypsies. I spent 30 years fighting them.
You think there would be more of them in the professional sport, though, if they all grow up fighting like that? You think there would be more of them that turn professional?
Yeah, there's that kid, Dennis McCann, something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put my hopes in that guy. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, the thing with it, right? If they don't see themselves becoming like the top guy, they don't even try, right? If they don't think they'll ever be a world champion,
Maybe that's ego.
You know what I mean?
Maybe that's like an ego thing because you don't want to like just be mediocre at it.
Yeah, right. So it's like, okay, go get a job, go, do this here, go, look after your family. That's their main priority. Right.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, look at like a Toro Gaddy, bro. He wasn't like an A-class fighter, but he still made so much money because of how much heart and how many good fights he had.
That's not about how much money they make, right? It's more like if we can't be the it's more like if they can't be the best at it, they don't even attempt it.
Yeah, but there's still good money in it. Is my point, though. Even if you don't turn out to be, the Tyson Furies of the world, even if you're just a middle class guy, you're still gonna make a decent amount of money in boxing. You might not make 10 million, but you might make a couple million. It's better than going to work on the docks.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have to read a super chat here from Plutonium Loach. Thank you for your contribution. He says Mike Tyson definitely packed the fudge in prison. All right. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, he probably did.
I'm sorry. I can't see anybody forcing Mike Tyson into a fucking into that shit, dude. I'm sorry, I ain't seeing that.
Maybe not one guy, but 4 or 5 holding you down.
Maybe he was pushing Fudge back, but I don't think he got his shit pushed in. I don't think so.
Supposedly, he said that the 3 years that he spent there were the best time of his life. That's crazy.
Yeah, he fucked the psychologist or something like
that. I mean,
right?
maybe the super chat is onto something after what I heard Gonzalo say.
Maybe he impregnated the nurse. He impregnated the nurse there.
Maybe his life was so crazy. Cuss died. He was young as hell, world champion. He had that chick that came into his life that was like a supermodel and shit like that. Maybe that shit was just all too much for him. And when he finally went to prison, it was like peaceful. Who the hell knows?
I mean, but that she didn't come into his life like she was famous, but Mike Tyson was more popular than her because he could have had any girl. He had a dime a dozen. That was just an evil person that introduced himself into his life to ruin it. Just like all these hangers-ons, like all these people that he had in his life, that were just there for the money.
Well, Don King destroyed his career, and I believe Don King got rid of him too because he wasn't. He couldn't be controlled for one because he was trying to tell Mike to stop beating people in the first round. Nobody wants to buy a $100 pay-per-view fight if it's going to last one round. If you went to the bathroom and came back, the fight was over. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to tell Mike, listen, Mike, wait till like the 3rd or 4th round to knock these guys out. He's not listening to you. He's going in there. He's beating them in the first round. You can't control the guy. So what do? You get rid of him.
That's the whole fucking point, right? If you're buying a Mike Tyson pay-per-view, to see him knock out somebody in one round.
Yeah, for $100, they were $99.
Right? Yeah,
they weren't $50.
Yeah, $100. Yeah, but that's why you buy. That's why you bought a Mike Tyson pay-per-view.
Yeah,
you wanted to see him knock somebody out in one round.
Yeah, you might want to see it in the 3rd or 4th round. I could see what, like, from a promoter standpoint, that's not a good look.
I know it's not a good. I know it's not a good look, but you tell me the people who spent $100 on a Mike Tyson pay-per-view didn't expect them to knock out some of the guys in one round. Sorry.
Yeah, but after a while, and it was like anything, it gets old.
It gets old, but there's a reason why you buy a Mike Tyson pay-per-view.
I think the problem that Don King had with the first round KOs was that it's less time for promotions, less time for commercials, and all this, and they make money from promotions and promoters. You get me?
Yeah, they're promoting because there was no commercials. It was on pay-per-view, but there's definitely other stuff that it probably was a nightmare for,
Yeah, but they still got sponsors and all this shit, bro.
The majority of money on sponsors.
Julio Cesar Chavez was fighting on the undercards, and they had real good co-mains back in the days. That was an exciting time for boxing.
Oh, Don King was great for the box. Don King was great for the spectator, right? But terrible for the fighters. Terrible for the fighters, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the chat at the beginning of the show. Like these motherfuckers, the way they're behaving like divas. You know what? Nowadays, you give me to choose in between Dunking and anyone else. Fuck them. Give them Dunking to rub their asses and to give us the fights we want. Because the way they're behaving, man, they don't deserve anything.
I think Don King had dirt in every single fighter, and he goes, "Your fight if you don't, if you don't get in the ring, this is going
Well,
to."
he just knew how to get them to sign contracts. What you do is he was smart. He would come to them with nice gifts like a brand new Cadillac and shit like that, and then hand them a contract at the same exact time. They see the flashy car and a suitcase with 50,000 or 100,000 cash in it. That's a lot to somebody.
Yeah, but did Dunking deliver?
What's that? Yeah, he delivered on good fights.
To his fighters.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
when it comes to Keith Bucho, to answer your question, I remember watching a mini documentary of Puff Daddy, how back in the day he signed a rapper, G-Dep from Harlem. Where he was using the same principle Dunking was using for boxers, meaning he comes in with Rolls Royce, with flashy car, he offers them huge pile of cash to get that very moment, and they always prefer mentally, so because they don't know how to do with money, how to save it. They're coming from the hood, poor guys, so when they see that, they get addicted to it, and so they always prefer to get a huge pile of money instead of having it in their bank, because they don't know how to save it.
Yeah, he would basically give them a suitcase of money.
Is that what P. Diddy did with Haney? Because they seem very, very good friends.
He would give them the most money they've ever saw before in cash in a suitcase, plus a flashy car. But in the suitcase was a contract that you signed your life away, because nobody read the contract. They saw the cash and they saw the Corvette or they saw the friggin' Cadillac, and all they were like, yes. Where do I sign? And they signed.
They saw the parties, bro. They wanted to party
and then they signed, but they don't read what's in there. And in there, they're like, "Oh, you signed this contract. We're going to keep 90% of the pot. You get 10%." And it's like, what the hell?
Fighters were treating those contracts from Dunking like you and me are treating Google updates and shit on the phone.
That's why I think right now Eddie Hearn is like the new Don King, kind of. He wants to make the big fights. He's offering people a ton of money.
Yeah,
but he's not screwing the fighters over, though. That's the main thing, too, though. Because the fighters are making good money, too.
Ferdy, yeah, right. Mike Tyson used to pay him $30,000 for a towel service.
Who's that?
Don King.
Yeah, that's the news that Jimmy broke. He was charging him like tens of thousands of dollars for.
Yeah, he was charging him for the hotel room. Imagine that.
Yeah,
you're going to fight in
not
Vegas.
For the hotel room, just for the towels. $30,000.
You're going to fight in Vegas. You're the main event, and yet you're still paying for your own room and your own towels. Don King is a maniac, bro.
Right. It used to be like he used to pay him like $30,000 for towels.
That other guy that he stole $300 million from Mike Tyson. $300 million.
What was it?
I forget his name. He was another guy though.
Jimmy Jacobs and
Mike Tyson came out of prison. Mike Tyson went into prison worth $500 million. He came out, he was broke.
Yep.
That's like sad. That's sad, bro.
Of course he was broke. Don King was fucking.
Yeah, he was broke. Like, that's insane.
Don King was his benefactor back then,
Well, she took his, Robin Williams took half his goddamn money too, though.
Yeah. The closest thing we got to Mike Tyson in today's era, Tank Davis.
No, I got to see it. I still got to see it.
And I'm not even just talking about in the ring.
Bro,
outside of the ring.
Stupidity. It's our stupidity.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah. Okay.
Like outside of the ring, inside the ring, they have a lot
Outside
of
the ring,
similar.
I agree with you. After he beat his lady, and then he showed another lady at
Like
the
I said,
basketball event, and all
Yo,
that.
but I
okay,
don't
Don,
Putting
believe,
the
I
John.
poop
don't believe that
in
Tyson
the toothbrush and
did
all that
that,
crazy
dude.
shit, bro.
But let me explain why. Like similar to how Mike Tyson's trainer, what's his name? The old white dude,
Customato.
Customato. Yeah, he basically found Mike Tyson in the streets. That's how Coach Calvin found Tank. You know, took him in.
They make up bullshit.
Basically got him out of that environment. Even though all of Tank's friends that were same age, they all died except for him.
Yeah. But it was
Yeah,
young.
they're
I
all
mean, he
dead.
was like
So
8, 9 years old.
Here, Lamont Peterson basically had the same story.
Tyson was 14, and Tyson
Yeah, all
lived
that.
on the streets. Like he
Yeah.
was homeless.
Yeah. But so basically, all that anger,
like 7 or 8.
Okay. So let me finish real quick.
So
basically,
like 7 or 8.
all right. So basically, all that anger that Tank and Mike Tyson had, you know, they
didn't
used.
Tank start boxing when he was like 7 or 8?
Let Rarebit finish. Go ahead, Rarebit. Finish quickly.
He found him in the street when he was 7.
Hold on.
Hey, can I get like one word off?
Finish. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, all that anger that Tank has, you know, pent up from all that is similar to Mike Tyson. They use that shit in the ring. So to me, they got a very similar backstory. That's why Mike Tyson likes him so much. And of all these fighters today, I think Tank Davis would have the most interesting like movie, like if they're doing about their life, like you know.
All right.
These other
There's
guys
no
would be
anger
boring.
in fucking Tank. Look at the Isaac Cruz fight. Where was that anger? He was on the back foot. I
Yeah,
never
I
seen
don't
Mike
know
Tyson.
that-
I never
I
seen
just
Mike
don't
Tyson
know
fight.
that
I never
either.
seen Mike Tyson fight like that.
So basically, what you're saying is Tank Davis is a more well-rounded fighter. He can fight on the back foot if he needs
No,
to.
I'm saying he's not. He does not have that anger that you're talking about. That
His hand was broken.
Oh,
No one's even
well,
used
when
their
did
hand to
Tyson
get
complain
around.
about his hand? I don't
How much
remember.
anger could a 7, 8-year-old kid have?
You know
Don't get
how
me
great
wrong,
you
Mike
got to be
Tyson
to
had
win a
nice.
fight and
He
people still
broke his
complain. Like,
hand. Ooh, I broke
No,
my
he could have had
Look,
can
I just say one thing?
but I bet you if they had a rematch, you'd be upset about it because you're like, well,
He's
you
not
already
Mike
beat this guy.
Rarebit. He's not like Mike Tyson. You're out of your mind.
Mike Tyson was
He is like
living.
Mike Tyson didn't knock out
Tyson
everybody.
was homeless, dog, living on the street at 13 years
What do you
old.
think Tank
His
Davis was
mother
doing?
was a crack. Yeah, but he was 7 or 8 years old. He was a child. He didn't have the hatred and the anger that Mike Tyson had. Mike Tyson was abandoned by his mother. He was living on the street. He was getting beat up by other people. He was sleeping in a fucking crack between 2 buildings. There's a way bigger difference.
It's similar upbringing.
It's similar, yes, but Mike Tyson, he had that hatred because he was old enough to know what the fuck was going on. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, guys. I would like to say one thing. I kind of agree with Rarebit, but Rarebit, you have to mind one thing. They're similar outside of ring, but inside the ring, like Bucho says, he does not project that anger the way Tyson was doing in the ring. But outside of the ring, yeah, sure, I agree with you.
You can't knock out everybody.
It's not the knock. It's just the way he fights. It's the whole package. It's not just.
Not the same.
Mike Tyson with the black shorts, right? Mike
let me
Tyson
ask you
with
a
the black shorts, with the black shorts, the black socks, the black boots, and the fucking white little cut off towel. He used to come in the ring like with the little towel on, bro, and he was just a fucking vicious monster, bro. Tank Davis ain't no Mike Tyson, man. Maybe there's similar backstories, but nothing like ferocious in the ring. No way. I'm sorry, I can't see it. I would if Mike Tyson. The reason why I watch boxing is because of Mike Tyson. If Tank Davis was a mini Mike Tyson, I would like Tank Davis. I don't like him.
Yeah, biggest difference to me. Okay,
go ahead, Gonzalo, and then we go somebody else.
Biggest difference, yeah. There's some coincidences, parallels, in the backstory, but in the ring, at 20 years old, Mike Tyson, he fought for a world title, then he became unified. Shortly after, Tank Davis is still fighting for baby belts. By the time Tyson was 28, the age of fucking Tank Davis, he was pretty much done. So what do you think is in the future of Tank Davis? If you say there's similarities in the boxing style.
Wait, Tank is done?
Tyson was done by 28. Tyson was so basically. How do you think that style that Tyson had translates for a guy that's 5'5"? He's short guy for the division. Relies on speed and power.
But
you said they had the same style. You had the same.
Yeah,
you said they had a lot of parallels.
No, I'm talking about like in terms of like
the anger,
the knockout.
The anger. So what's the similarity?
The anger,
what is the similarity, please?
What is the similarity?
Yes. What is the let him answer. What is the similarity?
So they're both short guys for the division. That's one.
Black.
Obviously. That doesn't hurt. They both got that bad boy image thing going on. They both knock people out in vicious fashion. And so like the coach. The coach that took them off the streets is the same guy that is coaching them in the pros. So that's there's a lot of similarities.
I agree with all that. The whole like inside the ring thing, though. That's what I just think.
Fair enough. And is everything the exact same way? Obviously not. Nobody's gonna grow up the exact same way as another person.
I see the only similarities that I see. The only similarities that I see are they're both short for their divisions, right? They're both not the biggest guys.
They're midgets.
But as far as the coach goes, the thing about Mike Tyson is he had a good coach. Customado is way better than Calvin Ford, how I see it. And
based on what?
Thing is, accomplishments,
personal opinion, or
everything, bro.
How you train Floyd Patterson?
No, he had Floyd
Patterson, an old man.
Check it out, bro.
But the thing is, Calvin Ford never died, bro. He's still around. And Customado used to guide Tyson, and he died, bro.
Check it out, bro. Customado had better fighters, a better long list of fighters. First off, so that's stupid to even compare them. And comparing,
That's with his father.
Saying Mike Tyson and Tank are similar because they came off the street. That's half the boxers on any roster in any country, bro. So that's a stupid.
Bro, I gave you way more examples of that. Don't play obtuse.
So him being controversial and whatever, he's nowhere near as big as Tyson, bro. And no one cared about him like they cared about Tyson. So that's also stupid. And as far as the styles in the ring, bro. Isaac Cruz looked more like Mike Tyson than fucking Tank Davis did. So that's also.
We should get a rematch then, and I don't want to hear any complaints.
All right, hold on, guys. Let me just. By the way, let me just say two things. First, Thor, your sound sounds pretty shitty. I don't know, something's wrong with your mic or connection. I don't know. And second, Rider of the Storm, thank you for your contribution. He says, "Redbreed, leave the drugs down. All right, leave the drugs down."
Hey man,
if you say they're very similar by the age, like what I was trying to say, if you say they're very similar, Mike Tyson, was done by 28. Really, if they're similar, Tank is 28, going on 29. He should be done by now. As far as like Gonzalo, what the future holds.
I completely agree with you, and I can understand. Okay, Redbreed, yes, the similarities is short, the power. But it's not the same level of skills at all, and the anger. I mean, which boxer does not have anger? All of these guys have anger issues. So why are they boxing?
He has a lot of skills, Mr. Bucho.
No, man, but Mike Tyson, nobody had
that, bro.
Wait. Look, you might not like Tank Davis, but to say he has no skills is ridiculous.
Bro, so like Mike Tyson, bro. Mike Tyson was like he was just
that dude was a savage animal. What are you talking about? He didn't know how to behave.
In my book, Mike Tyson to this day is one of the very best pound for pound heavyweights.
One of the most overrated.
He would destroy Joe Frazier.
Domestic violence. I see the similarities there.
I can't imagine a more overrated heavyweight than Mike Tyson.
Okay, now
because you weren't around really. You weren't around in the 90s.
Can I say something?
I still think he's overrated.
There's never been so many overrated heavyweights as Joe Frazier. I mean, listen, I respect them for what they did in their era and everything, but if you compare them to like Mike Tyson, they get knocked out. Mike Tyson knocks these guys out, man. Floyd Patterson.
Okay, but let's compare them to their era. The era that Muhammad Ali was in. Those guys, they fought each other in their primes. Like before Muhammad Ali fought Foreman. people thought he was gonna die in that fight. Literally, like people were scared for his life. So like,
skill-wise,
we don't see fighters in that type of fights today.
explosiveness, power. Mike Tyson knocks these guys out, man.
George Foreman was not overhyped.
No, but Mike Tyson knocks him out. The guy was robotic as fuck.
He was old.
He was. Well, which Foreman are you talking about here? Like the I'm talking about the 1970s.
The Foreman that fought Ali.
Yeah.
Actually, he was knocking everybody out in devastating fashion.
He fought him in 120-degree weather. He couldn't even get off the
Okay, that should be hard for Ali too. What are you talking about?
No, the Foreman in the 90s is better than the Foreman in that era.
But it doesn't matter, bro. Not everybody has the same tolerance to heat, bro. And Ali went to Africa like a month before the fight, dude. You don't think you build a tolerance?
What kind of idiot tries to like depreciate Ali's like resume? Like everybody agrees that this guy. That's exactly what you're doing. Like
that's a hype job, man. I can say it right.
Ali is very hyped up. Ali is very hyped up. He did a lot for the black community.
If Ali's a hype job, everybody's a hype job.
No. The story about like Mark is saying is true though. Ali. He's been hyped up because of the whole civil rights movement thing and all that.
Exactly.
That's probably why you don't like him, Bucho. Let's be honest with you.
No, it's because he's hyped up because, but that shouldn't count. It's upside down,
right? You had Leon Spinks, who was dead up from the era of slavery. He was old enough to know what slavery was. Muhammad Ali was younger. This dude grew up on the street. They said he was one of the toughest guys ever. He was run by the mob. Can you tell me that guy doesn't come in? He quits in the 6th round. He took a dive in both fights because you had the phantom punch.
Yeah.
Supposedly he knocks him out.
There we go. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, that was.
Hold on, listen. Before you say theories, listen. He's run by the mob. America is not accepting him as the champion. They're just not. They hate his guts. He has the worst press coverage of any fighter in history of the sport. And now you have this good-looking talker guy. They're trying to push the whole civil rights thing and everything like that. And he took a dive, bro. If you think that dude, Sonny Liston, as tough as he was, just quit on the stool because he couldn't handle Ali punching power. He didn't even have punching power, bro. He had no punching power, Ali.
So Ali was a manufactured champion.
He wasn't manufactured. He had immense skill. But my point is, he lost a lot of. How many times did he beat Norton? A lot of people think he lost all 3 fights.
In my book, Norton beat him all 3 times.
Exactly. There's a lot of people who think he lost all 3 fights.
I mean, you're gonna lose the fights if you fight the best. That's what happens now.
I'm looking at the skill level of these guys. The skill level. Look how they fought. They were just swinging. They were just swinging punches.
Mafia was the strongest organization in the United States in the 40s and 50s. The Italian Mafia. They ran Sonny Liston. If they told him you cannot win this fight, he's not winning the fight. Period. Point blank. There's no way he's going there. Because if he beats Ali, he doesn't make it home after the ring. He goes right into the car and he goes right into a fucking body bag. Period.
I've seen every single VHS tape out on Muhammad Ali from the library, I believe, and I bought every single CD that was ever put out of his career, and I read a few books, and I pretty much watched all his fights. He was good, man, but some of the wins were a little embellished because he had a lot of foot speed. He could bedazzle you with the foot speed, but for example,
he was an amazing fighter.
But for example, Big Cat Williams, the fight that they often reference when he does the Ali Shuffle, that dude had been shot. He was a shell of himself. He was past his prime. And we know, and you guys know, that when you fight a guy that has lesser skills than you can look like $1 million. And it could very easily be said, oh man, you're great. Yeah, he was great.
You can manufacture anybody with the media. If these days everybody believes everything they're told, bro.
He did have power, 64%, but it was accumulation. Okay, he didn't necessarily hit hard, but he got more knockouts than you would think.
Technical knockout.
Yeah, 64%.
He didn't have one punch knockout power, Ali. And I'm sorry, I just don't believe that he beat Sonny Liston legitly.
And a lot of people don't believe that. second.
I'm sorry, I just can't. Not Sonny Liston, one of the toughest guys. Like they're saying this dude was just insane, bro. Like, and you're telling me that guy just gives up in the 6th round? Like he gave up because he was probably like, bro, if I go out there, this dude's talking so much shit, I'm not going to be able to fucking let him beat me. I'm going to wind up killing this guy. So he just gave up. Basically, he's like, I give up, bro, because if I go out there, I can't take a dive no more. I might as well just quit on my stool because
I don't know.
he was taunting him. Ali was taunting him in the
All right, guys.
ring,
All right, let me hear Thor. Let's see if his mic works. Thor, go ahead.
Okay, bro. Is my mic any good?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, go
sounds
ahead.
a little pixelated.
Okay, is it any better now?
It sounds robotic a little bit. Like
okay.
Robotic. Yeah, it sounds weird.
A
little underwater.
Okay, so you can't hear me properly, yeah?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, bro. I'll just say the Fury Joshua thing. I think Joshua. The reason why fans accepted him more was because he won his gold medal at the London Olympics, which was one of the biggest media platforms in the UK in maybe like the last 30-40 years. And then he signed to Sky Sports, which was the biggest at that time, the biggest sports network in Europe. He was with Eddie Hearn and he was knocking everyone out. But Tyson Fury, he was with like Mick Hennessy on like really small TV channels. He wasn't getting promoted very well, and he also had kind of like a boring style. So I think for him it was a lot more difficult to market him to like the mainstream and stuff. But you know, when he beat Klitschko, he had some hype, but then he retired. But when he came back, he started knocking people out like Wilder, White. He was on big channels like BT. I think the UK accepted him, and I think obviously seeing Joshua crash and burn, that helped as well.
Yeah, but Fury, it didn't help Fury when he started making those comments about homosexuals and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The religious thing that didn't help.
He didn't do himself any favors with that shit. No way.
I mean, especially in the UK,
100%.
we're very liberal, right? So
here's the thing: it's his fucking opinion. Who gives a shit?
BBC.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that
news.
the media, you know how it works now. You can't say this.
BBC is one of the worst news outlets in the world. BBC, so liberal, woke.
Spoken. It's on mainstream media, like gays are not acceptable, and the word Jesus Christ and which I mean I personally do all that stuff, but I mean just the way the world is, the UK, the world in general. When you say things like that and you're kind of old school mentality, it's not really accepted. So he was definitely crucified.
But you gotta also understand. AJ talked about friggin' being superior and shit like that too. So he had a moment like that too. AJ,
but nobody cares because
sure he did a thing, right? He goes, he did a thing.
Hi, Thor, you sound like shit, man. Thor, Jimmy. I think it's Jimmy.
AJ is black, so he's allowed to be like that, bro. And Tyson Fury is not. So
AJ did a thing. If you're a certain color, only support black businesses and all this here, right? In the UK and all that. But here's my thing with AJ. I like him in the ring. He's a good fighter. I think he's one of those fighters. He improved over the years. Mm-hmm. He's willing to test themselves. I think that's why people like them, because you look at some of the names on his resume.
That's why
he's got one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing. That's why
I'll agree. I'll agree. That's why I like him.
I just want
just to be cool, bro. To be woke nowadays, bro. Like that's how the media is trying to portray woke people as the cool people, bro.
I don't give a shit about wokeness. Right. The only thing I wanted to say, right? Sonny Liston was like 45 when he fought Ali the first time.
Yeah,
he was a lot older. He was a lot older than they portrayed him to be, right?
Can we not see the similarities in Joe Frazier and Mike Tyson, the peekaboo style and shit like that? Only that
of course.
Mike Tyson was just way better. Levels above. Yeah. He was just levels above Frazier, right? So
Frazier was so limited.
If Ali went life and death with Frazier 3 times,
exactly.
What does Ali do versus Muhammad?
That's what I was trying. Listen, this is because maybe people misunderstood what I was saying. I'm not saying that these boxers were bad. I think they were good for their era. I'm just saying that Mike Tyson would destroy these guys. That's all I'm saying.
Let me respond to that, bro.
Tyson Fury
would. Go ahead. Never. Never.
Tyson
Have you
Fury
seen Mike
would
Tyson
destroy
fight
Muhammad
James
Ali
Quick
right
Tillis?
now.
Have you seen Mike Tyson fight James Quick Tillis?
Okay, there were some fights. Listen, there were some fights where Mike Tyson looked like shit. All right?
Okay, but James Quick Tillis was like a poor man's version of Muhammad Ali. He fought a
Mike
little.
Tyson would be like a fucking cruiserweight in
Did
this
he go
era.
life and death with Tillis? Did he go life and death with him? Like
He struggled
Ali,
very much with him, bro.
Ali
Yeah.
lost. First off, he lost once to Frazier, and then in the second fight, if Joe Frazier didn't quit in the 14th round, Ali was going to.
Cool.
And not
Frazier
only that,
was a Hall of Famer, bro. Quick Tillis is
Frazier
not.
was 205
yeah,
pounds.
I understand that, but we're talking about styles. Mike Tyson, for some
James Quick
reason,
Tillis had a shitty style of Muhammad Ali.
right? But he didn't go life and death with Tillis, bro, and he was a taller, harder fighter.
Tillis is not a Hall of Famer, bro. He was on.
It's one of those things where you will never know.
Like,
I mean,
my
look.
They fought once.
Muhammad Ali.
If Mike Tyson fought Tillis 3 times and struggled with him all 3 times, then you could be like, okay, that's the style he
Did
struggled
Tillis
with.
win any belts? Is Tillis a Hall of Famer?
No, but listen, can you call that a bad night? Okay. Let me say something. Can a boxer have a bad night?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay. Now, if
No,
Tyson
certain fighters can because then you'll call you a hype job.
No. If Tyson if he constantly struggled against the likes of Tillis or Bone Crusher Smith, whatever
Exactly.
you know what I mean, then you could make an argument. But it was
exactly
a one-off type of thing. You know what I mean? You gotta look at the whole thing. And Tyson, I mean, he you could tell it was a night off. It was something was style-wise.
Ali didn't have 3 bad nights from Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier was just a really bad style.
No. I agree. It could be seen in a lot of ways. Like Mike Tyson, I think Mike Tyson's probably better than Foreman, than Frazier. I'm sorry, but you could also say that if he has another bad night, you could say that Muhammad Ali's better than Buster Douglas.
Yeah, but
what Buster Douglas did to Mike Tyson. What Buster? Let me finish. What Buster Douglas did to Mike Tyson. Freaking Muhammad Ali could also do to Mike Tyson. And you know, like the Foreman win.
I agree.
The Foreman win. Sorry. The Foreman win was a good win because look, when Foreman came back, look at everything that he did. He fought like 11 times. He wasn't put in a title opportunity shot right off the bat. He had to fight like 11 times. Then he got an opportunity and he beat the dude with the lefty that fought under Teddy Ellis. I forgot his name. And he became world champion at 45 years old.
Moore?
For 47 years old.
Michael Moore.
Huh?
Michael Moore.
Michael Moore. So yeah, you could. It all depends, man. That's the beauty about boxing, dude.
But don't they say in boxing styles make fights, right? So that's my point. We have a really good gauge of a style that Ali struggled with, and that's Joe Frazier. They fought 15 rounds. 44 rounds, and it was a struggle for Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
So we have a really good gauge to know what style Muhammad Ali struggles against.
Yeah, but it was also a struggle for Joe Frazier.
Okay,
it was also a struggle for Joe Frazier.
Yeah, but Joe Frazier.
They were evenly matched.
Yeah, but he's a better version of Joe Frazier, though.
Frazier and Mike Tyson is a way better version of Joe Frazier.
How can you get on Muhammad Ali and you see what fighters do these days? Like we beg. Hold on, let me finish. Let me just get my point off.
Mark, you gotta let other people talk. Mark, you gotta let other people talk too. So
yeah, this ain't your show, my guy.
Rabbit, go ahead.
Rabbit, go ahead.
All right, hold on. So let me just get my point across, and then you can respond. So how can you get on Muhammad Ali and we beg fighters in today's era to fight the best all the time? Like Ali actually did that. And not only did he do that, he fought them at their most dangerous point in their careers, not when they're 35 or 36.
Same way you get at Canelo all the time when he's fucking fighting everybody, bro.
Man, nobody bring him up, fanboy.
I'm bringing him up as a reference, bro.
We're talking about Ali here. Like, stay on subject.
I wasn't
because you're over here getting mad because people are criticizing Muhammad Ali.
Stay on subject, Don. Like,
you're the fucking fanboy,
Muhammad Ali. John Ryder next.
We need. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to start.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali fought Cooper, and he barely survived Cooper, bro. He had fucking sheep, bro.
Hold on, don't you guys? Hold on, I'm gonna have to mute people here. Let's calm down.
Bread. Ali was a legend. I'm not saying anything bad about Ali other than we're looking at him fighting, and he fought 3 times versus Frazier, and he struggled. That was his toughest opponent. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe Ken Norton was too. I think Ken Norton was his toughest opponent.
Like Ken Norton, but he's past his best.
Now, is Mike Tyson not like way better than Frazier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look. Okay. But it's like I understand what you're saying.
Hold on, let me just finish. It's impossible to see who's better from different eras. But if we're gonna try to come to like a logical conclusion, and we take his toughest opponent, and then we look at Mike Tyson, very similar styles, but just a way better version, way faster, way stronger, way more tenacity. And then you put them in the ring. That's a hard fight for Ali. I'm not even saying Mike Tyson beats Ali every single time. If they fight 100 times, it might be 45-55. That's all I'm saying. But some people try to make it like Ali is the greatest of all time, and Mike Tyson would have no shot and do crazy shit like that. That's all I'm saying.
Can I respond to that? So it's like you gotta look at it from other sports. You gotta look at it from other sports point of perspectives as well. For example, Barry Sanders for a lot of people is the greatest running back of all time. But you could argue Adrian Peterson, who's like a current running back, he was a better athlete, he was more explosive, all those things. Now, just because he's probably a better all-around running back now, doesn't mean he's a better all-time running back. You know what I mean? In his time, Muhammad Ali achieved more than Mike Tyson. So he's greater than Mike Tyson. If you want to say he's a better fighter, that's fair enough.
That's what we're debating. That's exactly what we're debating. If they would fight,
you can't go to other sports. You can't go to other sports.
It's similar.
I get the point. I get the point.
But Blucho understands.
I understand an analogy, but that's not a good analogy because what we're talking about is we're talking about fighters, different eras. That's why it's so hard to gauge. So we're just trying to find a similar opponent, which is Frazier, similar style, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson just way better. And we come up with a conclusion, me at least, that would be a tough-ass fight for Ali. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, Tyson Fury will probably beat Mike Tyson. I mean,
think Tyson
look at the
Fury
size.
would destroy Muhammad Ali.
He's too big.
He's too big. These guys were small.
Muhammad Ali
guys, I think Joe Frazier weighed in at 205 at some point. 205 pounds, guys. Are you kidding me? That's barely. That's what Roy Jones weighed against John Ruiz.
If you have Tyson at 230 pounds hitting on Muhammad Ali at like 190 to 200 pounds at the most, way faster. It's just a tough fight. That's all I'm saying. But
it is. But you know what? You know what? Also, man, these big guys are overrated too because some of the biggest guys, the smaller guys, have beat them. You know, being too big is not a good thing either.
Yeah, you're right.
I would never put Mike Tyson over Muhammad Ali in an all-time debate.
I have a question, guys. Usyk against Ali.
That's a good fight. But my whole
look, man, we're not ignoring Muhammad Ali's
crazy. There's other people who have way better accomplishments than Muhammad Ali. So you can't bring up.
If Usyk beats Fury, we can have this debate.
Hold on. I mentioned it already. You know how Buster Douglas was bouncing on the tip of his toes, reminiscent of Muhammad Ali, dude. Mike Tyson has a bad night. A guy like Muhammad Ali beats him. Look at Buster Douglas, and I think
back to the Usyk debate.
Quit tilling.
Muhammad Ali fought way more killers than Usyk did. So,
but if we talk about accomplishments, then we have to talk about Joe Louis as the greatest heavyweight of all time. If that's how you want to judge it, because that's what you said, though. You said, but Mike Tyson doesn't have the accomplishments of Muhammad Ali. Well, Joe Louis
did not fight more killers than Muhammad Ali.
It doesn't matter. He has the most accomplishments. 11 years world champion and 25 title defenses. Muhammad Ali doesn't touch that. So if we're talking about it, your whole argument was Ali has more accomplishments. So, you know.
And not to mention that this story began with me saying that Tyson was one of the best pound-for-pound heavyweights. And then you switched it into does Muhammad Ali had balls or not? Of course he had balls, and he fought the toughest opponents in his era, but that was not the question. But the skills.
Well, all I know is when Muhammad Ali stepped up and fight the best of his era, he won. Tyson did.
I feel like Muhammad Ali did have more balls than fucking Tyson. I tell you that much.
But we had two.
Yeah, some people question Tyson when
he
he got. Even Teddy Atlas said about Tyson when things got tough, he quit basically.
But one thing about Tyson too, though, is when he got locked up, he came back a totally different person.
Yeah, exactly.
When Ali
lost 3 years of his time.
Right, but when he came back better. He came back better.
Muhammad Ali
got hurt. I think Muhammad Ali got hurt by Ernie Shavers like in the 3rd round, and he went to autopilot and fucking fought like he fought in a daze until he woke up around like the 10th round. You had he fought like the young. Why you keep cutting people off?
Listen to what Gonzalo just said.
Let Gonzalo finish. Gonzalo, please.
Then he came out of the daze and he fought like a young version of himself, like the Ali of old. And he won the fight. He negating Ernie Shavers' his world title belt. Because if it weren't for that, Ernie Shaver becomes a world champion. He never did. Ali, so he showed heart there too.
Did you hear what Gonzalo just said?
Yeah,
literally.
I didn't never listen.
Ernie Shavers, fucking George Foreman. Those are killers.
Has double the IQ of Mike Tyson, right? So you have to take everything into account. Mike Tyson lost 4 years of his career for rape allegations. He came out. He was never the same. The guy that went into prison.
That's true.
Came out way different. The guy that was before prison was a goddamn monster, bro. He was a kill. Like he was the most.
Okay, if you want to argue Mike Tyson will beat Muhammad Ali in a one-on-one fight, that's probably true.
Talking about let you finish. I'm not even done yet. Ali lost 3 years of his life. When he came back, he had such a vendetta. He was so pissed off for what the U.S. government did to him. It made him better. It gave him more of a chip on his shoulder. It made him a better fighter. That's cap.
Yes.
You're telling me he wasn't so angry that he didn't fuel him?
I don't know. I mean, he could be. I mean,
diminished.
Come on. He said it himself. Then we do know. He said it himself.
The point is that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happened in prison. Like the fact is that yes, Ali looked better after prison, and Mike Tyson looked like he wasn't the same. He was not the same at all.
Right. So when we're talking about accomplishments, when they fought the best people, Mike Tyson, nobody stepped up to fight Mike Tyson until he came out of prison and he was washed up. That's the point, though.
But two of the biggest punches of all time are Ernie Shavers and George Foreman. Ali fought both of them.
Says who? Mike Tyson could be the biggest puncher of all time. Now they're saying, people are saying Wilder. People are saying Wilder is the biggest puncher of all time.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? I said two of the biggest punchers in history are Ernie Shavers. I didn't say two. The two biggest. Like you gotta use context.
Says who though? That's
okay,
whatever. Listen. Rarebreed just said.
No, hold on. Everybody knows George Foreman.
Rarebreed just said that if Mike Tyson fought Ali 1-on-1, obviously that Tyson would win. So what are we debating? Probably. Okay, there you go. That's the best you're gonna get from Rarebreed.
And that's all I said too. I said probably.
Okay.
All I'm saying is.
So we agree.
All I'm saying, legacy-wise, it's not even comparison.
Yeah, but
who cares? Okay.
Let me add something. I actually think Lennox Lewis would be harder fight for Muhammad Ali than Mike Tyson.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so if I say Jaron Ennis will beat the shit out of Manny Pacquiao, would I be crazy just because Manny Pacquiao has all these accomplishments? Because look at Jaron Ennis' size, his speed, his reach advantage you have on Manny Pacquiao.
Who told you that we would base it on Pacquiao's resume instead of Pacquiao's skills and the style matchup?
Exactly.
I mean, Boots Ennis look like shit against fucking Karen, bro. So I don't see that.
Well, I know one thing, Manny's not gonna run.
How he's being compared to Pacquiao, bro.
He's not even a champion. I get your point, but that was a terrible comparison.
Yeah. That's why.
Okay, even Tank Davis versus Manny Pacquiao. I think Tank Davis would beat Manny Pacquiao.
Oh no, you don't. No, you don't. You're lying now, Rarebreed. You're just lying.
I swear to God, I think he could beat him.
You're saying retarded shit like that, bro. And then people are gonna think there's something wrong with you, bro.
I don't care what they think. Isn't that obvious? I say what I would feel.
Tank Davis against Pacquiao, bro. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
I lost respect, dude. I lost respect.
He would knock him out like the way he did Leo Santa Cruz.
Stop it. Stop.
Bro, Rarebreed's
So Pacquiao and Santa Cruz are similar? What are you trying to say here?
Would you be interested in that fight? Would that be a good fight?
He comes up with some legit points, and then he's
Reed, we're talking about real world champions, not regular champions. So
He does have a world championship.
What world champion is he?
Opponent.
Guys. Everybody's talking at the same time. It's crazy.
One at a time, fellas.
All right, let's go with PSK.
Yeah, I was saying. So, what world championship does Tank Davis hold right now?
None.
McDonald's big meal.
But it would still be a great fight between Pacquiao and Tank Davis because Pacquiao, the one type of style he struggled in his career was the counter puncher. That's why Marquez always gave him a hard ass fight, and Tank Davis is a pretty good counter puncher.
What elite fighter has Pacquiao? What elite fighter has Tank Davis fought? Name me one.
Elite?
Yeah, elite.
I mean, there's only so many elite fighters, in my opinion. The only elite fighters at 135 are probably Loma, Devin.
No, in his career.
I don't think he's fought any elite fighters.
Oh, there you go. So how can you compare it then?
I think styles. That's why.
How could you call him a great counterpuncher if we don't know?
Yeah,
because I mean, look at it this way: Lomachenko had fought more elite fighters than Teofimo before they fought, but Teofimo still beat him. So that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the fight just because you fought more elite fighters and you've done more.
Yeah, but people are different. Why are you comparing Lomachenko? That makes no sense.
I'm just giving you an example of a guy who accomplished more versus a guy who didn't accomplish as much that still lost.
We're talking about
two fighters. It's a different guy.
It's a different fighter.
I'm giving you an example. Stop being stupid, bro. You know what I mean.
He was a fucking demon inside that ring, bro. A speed demon. He would have destroyed. He would have sworn Tank Davis. Tank Davis don't got speed like that, bro. He's not even aggressive.
Tank Davis don't got speed. Neither Marquez is still beat Pacquiao.
I never seen fucking Tank Davis throw a 5-punch combination like
slow ass Marquez knocked out Pacquiao. I know Tank can.
Slow as he was the best. One of the best.
I mean, that's Marquez, bro. Marquez is better than fucking Tank,
bro. Are you kidding me?
No, he's not.
One of the best.
Yeah, he is, bro. Marquez would destroy Tank as well, bro.
He's better than Davis. We don't know how good Davis is. That's why saying that is absolutely crazy, bro. Maybe in 5 years, if Davis
hold on. What
fight, then you can say that.
What division Tank started in? 126, was it? Was that his first division?
No, 130, I think. No, I don't know.
130.
No, 126.
Oh, 126.
No, it was 126.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So at 126, who would win, Tank or Inoue, right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
Well, you want Tank to drain himself all to 126?
Yeah, and Inoue would eat himself up to that division as well. So they're both at deficits. Who would win?
Yeah, but Tank would be a higher deficit, lower deficit, or whatever you want to call it.
How do you know that? Are you a physicist? Are you a biologist?
Well, let's do 130. First of all, we don't even know.
Let me go in real quick. I mean, did you forget what fucking Pacquiao did to Cotto? Did you forget what he did to Margarito? What he did to
bigger fighters?
Ricky Hatton? What he did to Thurman? Thurman was supposed to be the young guy, bro, and he got his ass kicked by Pacquiao, bro.
Tank is more talented than all those guys you just named.
Bro, you silly.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Riri just wants to be a contrarian. That's what. No, you're not serious.
I know this is the Tank Davis hate channel, so but it is what it is.
No, come on.
Tank Davis ain't shit yet.
And by the way, if they were in the same weight class, Tank Davis would beat the shit out of Inoue. If that's what you're trying to ask me, that last guy.
Manny Pacquiao has probably the greatest resume in boxing history. I swear to God, dude.
Yeah.
If old ass Donaire can break your fucking eye socket, what do you think Tank Davis is going to do?
And he fought like 15 world champions, and he probably fought more than that, but he fought like 5 Hall of Famers. And he fought those 5 Hall of Famers probably like multiple times, 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 4.
Manny lost to Tim Bradley, and you're not gonna tell me Tim Bradley is better than Tank Davis.
Manny beat Tim Bradley twice, and he should have beat.
But those fights were close. Those fights were close.
It was a robbery, though, bro. The
it's not like
it's a robbery, bro. Everybody knows that was a robbery, bro.
So hang on. Ali lost to Ken Norton. That doesn't make Ken Norton a fucking ATG, does it? Just because you lose a fight.
He's a great fighter.
Tim Bradley himself admitted that was a robbery. That's how you know.
All I'm saying is, if you're competitive with Tim Bradley, Tank Davis can take you. Like, come on now.
No, hang on. Enzo Maccarinelli knocked out Roy Jones. That doesn't mean Enzo Maccarinelli is a good fucking fighter. What are you talking about?
He knocked out, but you got to use context. Which version of Roy Jones did he knock out?
Exactly. That's the point.
We're talking about
Aside from Manny Pacquiao, he never lost, man. I think he tied to Diego Chavez, I believe, and other than that, I don't think he lost. The dude, you know what Timothy Bradley had? He had a hell of a chin, and he had a good gas tank. Sometimes,
Tank will knock out Timothy Bradley.
You think he would knock out Timothy Bradley? You think he would outwork
Timothy Bradley? Yeah, he would knock him out.
Legit, Regis Prograis will knock out Tank right now at 140.
I don't think so. I think Tank beats a lot of guys at 140.
I don't think Bradley
let
ever
me
got
tell you who would beat.
He never got
Let me tell you who would beat Tank Davis.
If he never got KO'd, I don't see how you can tell me that he would get KO'd for sure.
It's gonna cost something that Canelo fucking up better doing right here.
Bradley.
Let me tell you who would beat Tank Davis right now. I think I don't really like his fighting style, but I think Devin Haney will probably beat him, and I think Shakur Stevenson will probably beat him. And you know what? Zepeda might give him some trouble too. Zepeda, I think he's at 140 or 135. Yeah, 135 at top rank. He would give him some trouble too, his style. But those are only guys I can see him giving a good fight currently.
Ted Bradley, he hung in there with Manny Pacquiao, who was slightly taller than Tank Davis, doing more punches and hit just as hard. In my opinion,
when Manny Pacquiao got in the ring with people with high boxing IQ, he didn't dominate them. Floyd Mayweather, Tim Bradley, Tank Davis has a high boxing IQ too.
Tank loses. This is the only reason I'm going to bring this. Tank loses a lot of rounds. He's good because he gets the knockouts and he sets the traps.
Yeah, Manny is very aggressive. He's gonna get knocked out.
And be honest, Frederick, you're kind of hating on Tim Bradley because they got the social media beef right now.
No, Tim Bradley he's an okay fighter.
You youngins see the parallels and things, and you follow these narratives because it's popular right now. It's trending. Timothy Bradley talks shit on Tank Davis, and he wants Ryan Garcia to beat him, and that's why you're kind of like
Gonzalo. When you watch Tim Bradley fight, do you see a special fighder?
I told you he got that dog, man. He's got the gas tank. He's an
A-level fighter, but not A+. He's an A-level.
He never lost to anybody.
What does Tim Bradley do better than Tank Davis?
I don't see nothing that special, bro. Straight up, he's just another.
He's more aggressive.
He's another of the bunch.
He's more aggressive.
Good fighters come a dime a dozen, bro. There's a lot of fighters like Tank Davis.
He's a good fighter, but nothing special.
Cameron Cepeda beats Tank Davis, bro. Check
it out. I'll tell you.
We know you're biased.
I'll tell you 3 things. I'll tell you 4 things. I'm gonna answer your question, Ruby. I'm gonna just real quick. This is all I gotta say. I'm gonna say 4 things he does better than Tank Davis. Okay, I think he's got a better chin for one. He's stronger.
Based on what? Tank's never been hurt.
Okay. Timothy Bradley never got knocked out.
He got hurt by fucking Vargas of all people. That little Vargas, whatever his name is.
Okay, in the tail end of his career. Okay, we're just gonna leave that. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna name 3 things. I'm gonna name 3 things. I'm gonna name 3 things.
You always bring that shit as an excuse. You're always old.
Let Gonzalo finish.
Gonzalo finish.
Bradley is more aggressive. He throws more punches and he's stronger. Oh, and one more thing. He's quicker. Maybe aggressive and strong. We'll put him in the same category. He's quicker. He's aggressive and throws more punches, and he's stronger than Tank Davis.
Hey, guys, let me talk, man. Just one question for Airbid. I mean, why would you compare Tank Davis to Marquez, who's skill-wise way better than him, and it took him 4 fucking fights to Tank Pacquiao? Why instead you would not compare him to some other counterpart punching opponent of Pacquiao, like Joshua Clottey, for example, because Joshua Clottey was as gun-shy against Pacquiao and he's a counterpuncher, just like Tank Davis is against his opponents, way lesser opponents than Pacquiao.
Are you trying to compare Joshua Clottey to Tank Davis?
It seems much more saner comparison than in between.
I'm not even going to answer your question. That's ridiculous.
Claudia and Tank, they're around the same level, bro.
You would say that, Don Chico, says we know how you feel about Tank Davis, the executioner.
Timothy Bradley and Joshua Clottey are way bigger than Tank Davis.
Tank
is used to fighting bigger people, and he knocks them out.
Claudi's way better than Tank, bro. I don't know what.
He's bigger.
You probably think you're better than Tank, Don, but let's be real.
Are you gonna tell me?
Claudi's bigger, bro. He destroys Tank, bro.
No,
Don, you probably think you would destroy Tank. Like, let's be real.
Are you gonna tell me that Timothy Bradley's the same size as Leo Santa Cruz? Hell no, dude. She's no fucking 126 pounder. He's a 40 pounder. He's a 47 pounder. Legitimate, dude. That dude got muscles upon muscles. You think you think that fucking Timothy Bradley going to town on fucking Tank Davis is the same thing as fucking Leo Santa Cruz going to town on Tank Davis?
He tries to go to town on Tank Davis, he get knocked out.
No, but Bradley went to war with Provanika, bro. They went toe to toe. While fucking Tank Davis
you're not doing that with Tank Davis.
People, bro.
No, but hang on. You into his life.
Bro.
I'm just putting it into perspective, dude. Timothy Bradley is way bigger than Leo Santa Cruz, dude.
No, hold on.
Leo Santa Cruz is a fucking
I think there's actually two non-champions in 140 who could potentially beat Tank right now: Subriel Matias and Ezekiel Ponce, and they're not even world champions at 140, and they have a good chance
of beating Tank, bro. All the Mexicans could beat Tank, bro.
Not even just that, but like.
But even though Tank has like a career beating up Mexicans, but all of a sudden he's gonna lose to all the Mexicans.
You want to say that because he's Mexican? The only people
You're funny, Don. That's the real reason you don't like Tank Davis. He beats all the Mexicans.
Funny, you want to talk about him bringing up Mexican fighters, but the only two people you beat to beat Tank was two black guys. So come on, bro.
Yeah, because those guys are the two best in the division.
Oh, okay. I'm sure that's the reason. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember you picked old ass Lomachenko?
Well, it's funny how you just brought up Mexican fighters because a Mexican guy said it, but the only
Don said all the Mexicans would beat Tank. I'm just responding to his comment.
We saw what little Pitbull Cruz 5'2", 5'1" Pitbull Cruz did to fucking Tank, bro. Now imagine Camarón Cepeda,
Don, good for you. You like moral victories. The motherfucker lost.
Tank Davis would only beat Pacquiao's wife.
I don't believe in moral victories.
Did Tank ever produce any X-rays for his broken hand after that fight?
Actually, he did. He showed his hand. It was all puffed up. Oh, that's why he didn't use that hand.
Did he have any X-rays?
He beat that midget with one hand.
Oh, did he produce any X-rays for his broken hand though? Did he provide evidence for his claim? Like people made provide evidence.
He's probably the third best fighter at 135.
So I said, just what has Tank Davis done to make you think he's going to beat one of the greatest of all time, Manny Pacquiao?
Styles.
You heard Mike Tyson, Rare Breed, said that Tank's a great fighter, one of the best from this generation, and you're jumping on the bandwagon like big time.
I think Shakur will probably beat Pacquiao too. Actually, he would beat Pacquiao a lot easier than Tank would.
So
are we talking a 40-year-old Pacquiao or a Manny Pacquiao in his prime?
Any version of Pacquiao.
And you're smoking the illest drugs. Can I get some? Can I please get some or whatever?
Can you give me a comparison that Pacquiao fought that fights like Shakur Stevenson?
Can you give me the reason why you think this? Like what has Tank done to make you believe he can beat one of the greatest fighters of all time? One of the top 10 GOATs. What has Tank done that he beats that guy? Please.
Manny Pacquiao struggled with counterpunchers.
No, hang on. I got a better question.
Manny Pacquiao lunged a lot on his punches.
Maybe top tier counterpunchers, but Tank is maybe a tier B counterpuncher.
Who's not exactly Tank's best win?
I don't trust your boxing analysis, Mr.
Cotto likes to counterpunch.
Hold on. Reverie, in your opinion, who's Tank's best win in his career?
Dude, we talked about this already. His resume ain't shit, but I still think he beats Manny Pacquiao.
So with
Tank's best win is what? No, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me finish real quick. Tank's best win is what? Manny Pacquiao's 17th best win, 15th best win. Tank's best opponent.
I mean, that's not how you win fights.
No, I'm not talking about who wins fights. I'm asking you where does that land? Where does Tank's best win land in Pacquiao's resume? 15th, 20th best win? You tell me.
Where does Canelo's best win land on Bivol's resume?
What's Canelo and Bivol got to do? I'm talking to you.
Answer questions.
Answer the question.
No, I'm not trying to argue about the resume, so I don't understand your stupid ass question.
Well, if
you're gonna say Tank beats Canelo too, bro? Is that what's next?
You're not answering the question because you know he defeats the whole.
It's stupid. I already said that. Obviously, Pacquiao's got a way greater resume than Tank. I'm not trying to argue that.
So how can you compare?
Waste of fucking time.
Are you comparing Tank on eye test only, or so how are you comparing it then?
Yeah, that's what
I just told you. Styles make fights, and stylistically, Tank is a problem for Pacquiao.
Yeah, but stylistically, Canelo struggled against boxers, and he fucked up Caleb Plant and Saunders.
Yeah, but it has to be boxers of a certain skill level. Plant's not on that level.
Yeah, and but then finish. So who has Tank fought on that level to compare him to Pacquiao? Tell me one fighter. Tell me one fighter. Give me a fighter 5 levels below Pacquiao who Tank's fought to compare them to them. If that's the case. Give me one name.
I don't think there's anybody, but
I don't say Rolly Romero, bro, because Rolly Romero wasn't all that, bro.
That ends your argument. That's just you got a ridiculous argument which makes no fucking sense.
Guys, in the chat, official boxing scorecard. In the chat of official boxing scorecard, with a contribution, with a super chat, he says Tank only beats Pacquiao's wife. There you go.
And I think he struggles with Pacquiao's wife straight up, bro. But that's just me.
Yeah. That's funny. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. Like you don't have a good, good even argument because I understand he's a counterpoint.
Well, there's nothing that I can say for you to change your mind. So it is what it is.
All right, guys, this is getting nowhere. Guys, we should have another debate about this. I gotta go, but thank you for joining us. You guys can stay there and chat, continue this debate. But anyways, thank you for joining us, guys. Really appreciate it.
Catch you guys later. Nice talking to y'all.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys. Everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us. So yeah, we'll have more Open Lines Fridays coming. Possibly a Sunday show, post-fight show. I mean, we have some fights tomorrow. So yep, stay tuned for that. Take care. Good night.